Hello. Hi. I did it. I unmuted. That's how we always start these things. Hello, everybody. My name is Nick, aka Goknek. I'm the project and development lead here to answer some of your burning questions that you ask us over in our Discord and in chat. I'm joined with some of my lovely team members. It's just a couple, a handful.
Yeah,
but
quite a short one. Quite a sparse one today, I should say.
It's okay. People get busy, but we always have some time to show off our stuff that we've been working on over the past month, which we'll actually get right into here in a sec. But why don't you guys introduce yourselves as well, and we'll get rolling.
Hi, I'm Mac. I make maps and do tooling on the game.
Hell yeah.
I combine two greetings and what hi-oh. I'm Tom.
So
I do web and tooling and various other things. Many
things because this project demands it. It's very typical to have people doing multiple things because it's hard to find dedicated like solo just like, oh, I'll just do just tooling or just this. But as you start to see more things interact more, it's good to be able to have different hats as well. I started, this project doing just C++ and then started to learn what websites and like how websites worked and stuff and databases and then security and like there's a bunch of shit that you start like going off the deep end, but you have to for something like this. But anyway, let's go ahead and start with our first asked question. We get this every single time. Who keeps asking it? The world may never know. And it's me. Yeah. What has everyone been up to? We have been hard at work on O10. It's been pretty much the culmination of the last like couple of months of work have been finishing up, I guess specifically with Rio. Rio has been working on a networking layer that is effectively using the same logic and code that our new replays for O10 are using. So it is a much better implementation of multiplayer than the original one that you can find in 09 if you have access right now. This also networks things like entity state, right? So you can spec someone and see them actually properly interacting with the map, and then exit spec and have your entity state where it was, right? So there's a lot of like, with our game being single player but like an optional multiplayer, there's a lot of kind of figuring out how to best interact with the engine in order to do this. So Rio's been doing a lot of awesome work around that. LS Peenscreaker on the team has been working on a lot of zoning, in-game zoning UI, which has been really awesome work. I think, are we going to show off a little bit of that today?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so Tom's going to show off a little bit of that today as well, so you can see some of that. In-game zoning is very helpful for maps that we don't want everyone to just have to decompile maps in order to like place zones. So in-game zoning, and then also if you are making a map, you can place the zone entities as well, and we have a process for mappers there. So we have the the tooling around that. In fact, that's actually kind of been the theme for the past couple bits. It's just tooling. There's tools that do not exist for a lot of what we need to do. Lumper, right, is kind of like not really a BSP decompiler, but it reads BSPs and does like permanent changes to the BSPs so that we can have a final file that we upload to our our cloud storage so that everyone can get it. We don't want to do runtime fixes. We don't want to where servers have stripper configurations where they strip out entities or fix maps that are from a bygone era. We actually want to permanently fix that map and have it just be the best version of it as we can. So Lumper, right, we have a lot of in-game tooling as well around like just tweaking entities as you're porting maps that we'll be showing off as well today. It's gonna be really cool, and these are tooling that people have been asking, how can we help get like the game like even more ready. Map porting is going to be such a huge ask that we're gonna ping when we do our O10 ping, we're gonna be asking for your guys' help on this. So a lot of what we're showing off today with the porting tools, you guys can take notes on and see how you like it. But that'll be what you'll be using when you're going through the process of porting fan favorite maps to Momentum and helping out. Obviously the team will be doing it as well, but the more the merrier when it comes to the thousands of maps that we want to have in the game. So yeah, that'll be a fun one. And then yeah, Panzer's been doing a lot of awesome work around entity tooling as well, and a lot of miscellaneous work. We got roaming lobbies in. I think that was shown off last time. They're still in. You'll probably see a bit of that.
Yeah. Sort
And
of.
yeah, it's kind of broken right now as we're finishing up getting Rio's changes merged in. So networking's kind of getting hooked up and then like swapped over to the new code, and then we can delete the old code. It's very tedious, but we're doing it very carefully because again, if we just like completely broke multiplayer right now, yeah, the people will be upset. So the 0.10 branch is broken, but once we ship 0.10, it'll have the proper working multiplayer.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing I wanted to bring up is that we didn't really want to be doing all the multiplayer stuff for 0.10 because we'd rather just get 0.10 out. But we basically delete multiplayer. Multiplayer wouldn't be an 0.10 because
yes,
the
and that, to
refactor
me was really bad. I don't want
Yeah.
to ship a public release without people being able to play with each other.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, yeah, do we either, and like it came down to a decision of like, do we keep this jank ass piece of shit multiplayer that we had before, or do we investigate and see how much work it would be to actually convert a lot of the replay mom TV is what we're calling it code to work with multiplayer lobbies.
Well,
and Rio,
it's more so that we had the new replay stuff and the mom TV stuff, and it just like that stuff was already there, and that stuff took precedent, and then the multiplayer stuff just did not interface with that properly, and so we could have maybe done some like really gross hacks to kind of get stuff working, but that would have taken quite a lot of time, and that would just be temporary like bandage code that we have just to ship 0.10, and then we would immediately get rid of it and start doing the multiplayer stuff after.
Right.
It's really annoying that we have to do the multiplayer stuff for 0.10 because 0.10's taking forever, and I think a lot of us are just exhausted from it because it's by far the biggest update we've ever done, and it's just kind of the nature of the thing is that there's so much in this update that's all interconnected that it's very hard to like tie it off at one specific point and leave stuff in this kind of half-done state. So
and this multiplayer I think is the last like system that we were kind of like up in the air about, and so having a decision made, and yes, that push 0.10 right a bit more, but we're going to have fully functional multiplayer that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. It's worth it. It's worth having this kind of more cohesive product for everyone to enjoy. But yeah, I guess that moves us over to you, Tom. What have you been up to?
Sorry, I'm really tired tonight.
No worries.
So yeah, of the big remaining 0.10 things, like Nick was saying, there's multiplayer stuff and then map porting. Where, sorry, I guess we've not really addressed it for those who don't know, but 0.10 has public map submission. We're wiping the entire system. We're on a whole new backend,
whole new server,
and front end and database and everything, and that's been done for a while. Then we immediately like the process now is getting like the website actually useful for stuff. The main thing being map submission, where right now like to add maps like the pre-0.10 stuff, it's me, Nick, or Mac. There's the three of us in this call are actually the only ones that can add stuff, and it's pretty jank. And with map submission, we then map submission is really hard because there's loads and loads and loads of maps, and we want to kind of standardize stuff quite well and not have. We want lots of people to be able to help out with map submission, but we also don't want it to be a complete clusterfuck.
Yeah.
For one, we don't want people just making random changes that they want to make. Like we really don't want people decompiling a map, changing whatever they feel like, then recompiling it. And like we are trying to be quite methodical about stuff and quite strict with stuff where we really don't want you to recompile a map if you don't have to. There's some cases where you might have to,
like ship ramps that are off like there's imprecision from just horrible
there's some practices. In some cases we could actually we could make ramps even less lodyb. That's something we've been talking about a bit lately. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff we want to get standardized, and I think so. Right, of the main tools we've got, there'll be a little bit of decompilation stuff, and if people do want to decompile a map so they can zone in Hammer rather than in game, and then just compile the zones, which you can do. Zone Maker takes a VMF file, spits out zones. That's all it does. But then of the other tools we've got, the main new thing is Lumper, which we've shown a little bit on Q&As before, though I guess I'll start screen sharing and I'll show Lumper a little bit as I go. Hopefully this will be right. So yes, Lumper 1.1 released like an hour ago. And yeah, it's this program for editing BSP files. It seems like recent stuff's working. There's this Lumper's got a lot of similarity, like Vide, and I guess EntSpy for some stuff. Packrat, like it can do the main things Lumper's used for are entity things and pack file things. So entities are like the stuff that make up the logic of maps and teleports and stuff. And then the pack file is like assets that are put inside of the BSP, so textures and stuff. So Lumper has a texture browser similar to Hammers, basically just copied Hammers. Entity editor, quite similar to EntSpy or Vide, though it's got quite a lot of new fancy things that I'll show off in a minute. Then Pack File Explorer, which is a like file tree thing that
because maps can have packed when maps ship and then they have like all these custom models and stuff. This is where they go, the pack file. So being able to explore that and see what huge things are inside of BSPs is very nice. Yeah.
Sorry, let me grab. Let's see. Where's this? There we go. Okay. So. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for it's a good background. So and then sorry, the other thing Lumper can do is jobs, which are ways to automate certain things where we can apply stripper configs. We're going to show that off in a minute because we have a tool that exports stripper configs. I made this. This is fun. It shows like whether the config's valid or not. I made like an IDE, like an IDE now. I have this. It shows on the bottom right. It's like, oh, I don't know what this is. Unknown title. Title. I don't know what's title there, but this should work. I forget how stripper configs work.
Yeah, we don't want people writing these by hand. That's the whole point. But you can, you can, and like we're supporting it as because there's a ton of like servers that have had like open source stripper configs, and we want to be able to support being able to do a lot of the heavy work that was already done, right?
If people wanted to do stuff by hand, that would be okay.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, generally the entity editor is going to be better. One thing it can't do that would be maybe a bit fun is to take all the changes the entity editor makes and create a stripper config. But we don't really have any use for that. We could do that if we wanted. But so then of other jobs, there's mounted game assets are a really big thing. This map's really funny. I looked at this earlier. Fruits has one official texture, which is this orange from CS Italy.
From the fucking fruit stand. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So this what is this? This is the worst photoshopping. It's like
the clone brush.
And then the seam here. That is a mess. I do like this nosing at these maps. Then so CSS assets you can't have. We've spoken about this quite a bit before, but I guess we won't go into now. Basically, we don't have a way of shipping CSS asset with the game. You do need to buy CSS. It's the same as with Gmod, other stuff like that. And so maps that are packing CSS structures need to remove them, which they can do very easily. There's a job here that, in fact, let's do this as our first thing. Will just be I just run this job. That should, if I run done, it got deleted the orange.
Nice.
Great.
It's gone. Orange. Yeah. Orange stage is fucking gone.
Yeah. In fact, if I go now to the map summary, it would have shown before the pack file entry that yells at you if it's got a official thing. The textures work if you have the game mounted. That's the thing, is you just need to have it installed already.
So just talking about that for a sec, the reason why we're removing CSS, TF2, etc. assets is because we don't want to ship those official Valve assets with like content from our game. Plus it also, like, we're expecting you to have it mounted, right? Like we really want to make sure that the game is mounting all of these existing source titles. And I mean, if we ever get to the point where we need to have like things shipped with the game, we could try to reach out to Valve and see what they say. But
no, if we thought there was any chance Valve would let us do it, we would have reached out already.
Yeah,
but they won't. Like, there's just not enough.
We're erring on the side of just being good, business partners, I guess, with Valve, right? Because they gave us the engine, but we just want to make sure that we're trying to just make sure everyone has the original game that you're mounting the assets from, and this will extend over into our map selector as well. So if you do have a map that requires CSS assets or anything, we'll have like a little "Hey, requires CSS mounted" like warning in the map.
Yeah, I was gonna add that into the website. Yeah, if a VMT is fine.
And yeah, it does
But
go on sale for like $1 to $2.
If you want to tweak a VMT, that's completely fine. Like Valve aren't gonna have an issue with that.
Yeah, VMTs,
But,
we ship. Yep.
Or
we're okay with shipping. VMT is fine, but
yeah, I mean, one thing that we will have to do is we are gonna steal collision meshes, and just hope that Valve would chill with that, because we have to do
for
that.
anti-cheat, yeah.
Because otherwise, we would have to require you have that stuff mounted.
Yeah.
Because that affects gameplay, and like RAC stuff in the future will be like, if you just go through a prop with a collision mesh that like RAC doesn't go through, momentum does have auto-hop, like you're just gonna. I like this, yeah. The fast route to get to the start of this map is to go through the credit section first.
Oh, that's funny.
So, I've lost my train of thought. So, surf fruits. Panda's already done this map. Look at this grenade here. This is something we'll actually get rid of. In fact, let's start showing some stuff off.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, this is going to be really easy. In fact, it says here, for some reason, like if I change page and go back, this resets, and I actually have no clue why that is.
That's interesting.
Currently, this validity is marked as unknown. We should have this tracked. All of these weapons here, we don't want you to have. Like, this is jail stuff, the game player equip, I think.
Yeah.
So these, I'm just going to delete all of them, and then, like, any weapons, I'm just going to get rid of.
Yeah.
Just delete these. Okay. So
Momentum does have
now...
auto-hop, yeah.
Oh. What's happened here? This should be what... I'm surprised if that... I don't know if that's a delete. Oh! Oh, that's a bug. I think it's not, thingying. I don't know. I don't think it's handling removals from the change set. Okay, that's a bug.
Good bug find.
Yeah, this should be getting handled automatically, but it doesn't.
Like reactively, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't do this now. Entity rules.
Quick lumber sesh, real quick.
Entity review, view model, some bullshit in here. I don't know. Isn't getting. It's this thing. This is the culprit. Really easy to understand code. Actually, I think this is correct. So I'd have to debug this and try to figure it out. But okay, I got rid of those. I think those will save and delete them, but okay. I wonder if I did this and then go back, does it change it?
Are you on the right version of Lumper? Like,
yeah, this should be this is the latest thing. Okay. Okay, anyway, then there's a couple of other things. This is the map has a jail. Obviously, we want to get rid of that, so I'm just going to delete the timer entity. I think that should be fine. There's sort of like end round telly. We don't really care about that. We'll just delete the time. And yeah, it's really annoying how it doesn't remember that. Then player weapon strip. This also looks pointless, so I'll get rid of that. There's probably some IO stuff that affects this.
It's like when you go to jail, it'll remove, I think, all of your weapons.
Yeah, so there's this trigger multiple here that probably doesn't need to be getting used, so I don't think it really matters. But it seems harmless to get rid of, actually. Actually, well, no. Does it end up being... I don't think deleting a brush entity will break stuff, but we'll see.
It's a trigger, so yeah.
Okay. So that's some of the quite basic stuff. Now I'm going to do the complicated thing, which is a bit awkward to do on one monitor, but I'm going to do always on top. And now I'm going to show off the new thing, which is my... is this your map, Lodi? You said you worked on this, yeah. Not debug. Well, debug's fine. Okay, this... I need cheats on. Okay. This is my fancy new thing, which is one thing that's quite annoying with Lumber, just finding shit.
Yeah.
And I ended up going in this weird little... Yeah, you did pineapple, right? I don't need this. Go away.
Sending the map hash every...
Yeah. I don't care about perf. That's fine.
Okay.
I don't need to. It's just in the, like the message just includes a hash. It's easier to handle than like.
Oh, okay. I see.
Just every message is a type content and map hash.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lumber can do some stuff. One thing, my favorite thing is actually broken because I don't know how to write traces. I'm not sure why, but this thing should select the entity that I'm looking at. But for some reason it sets hammer ID 0. So something's not getting initialized right or something, and it just defaults to 0. But
It
this
was
should be
working
like,
before this update, so it's unfortunate, really.
yeah. So this should be like, if I'm looking at this trigger, it should just find the trigger. But it doesn't work. What has happened here? Oh, it's found 2. There's 2 overlapping triggers here, which it can handle. It's the traces hitting a couple of them. Anyway, so this one was whatever. I had to put a radius in, but now if I do, put up 500. Think pause. Oh, is this a timer? I think I'm getting jail teleported. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? I wanted to reload the map. Yeah, it is. Okay.
This is why we remove jails, because
Yeah, I could just save
you aren't
and
fighting
reload it,
anyone.
I guess. Yeah.
You're just surfing.
So this is fun. So then this is this is the WebSocket base. It's really extra, but I think. So this is like I can fly around and then it updates the lumper bunch of
So
things. So,
yeah, so more technical. We set up a or a WebSocket server that the game is like
yeah,
listening for, and or can communicate directly to Lumper over a WebSocket.
yeah,
So it just sends like JSON back and forth basically, and tells
yeah.
Lumper, hey, what's nearby, like what and this is really nice because you can no clip around and on another monitor, or like how Tom's doing it right now on your same monitor. You can have Lumper open and very quickly see what entity is right here or nearby, and so you can tweak, you can
But also
teleport to
it's
entities.
bidirectional, right? I can go back and forth.
Yeah.
What did I talk? Okay. So yeah, this is a bit extra, but it is really helpful. And I was finding a lot when just doing stuff in Lumper that's just annoying trying to find stuff. So I started by doing this like spherical region filtering thing, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the crazy version. Me and Rio were kind of chatting about it, and basically said, yeah, let's not do this for O10, but we'll do it after, maybe. And then I was reading WebSocket PP stuff, which is a C++ library for WebSockets you already have in the engine, because Panorama uses it for debugging. So I just decided to use it. Also, it's really nice. Yeah, so the thing spinning, the logic auto, the spinning thing. What are we doing? So let's go find this guy. Do this. I don't know why it restarted or not, but okay. So wait, there's this. So you're saying there's a yeah. Lodi, I did do this earlier. So Panzer was saying we were gonna keep the spinning thing, and maybe that makes people mad, but we were talking about keeping it. Because well, maps will restart. I mean, it's spinning so fast anyway. Like, if this was near the start of a map, in the future, this will always restart when you start a run. Like, as soon as the timer starts, the map state gets reset. So in theory, you could have like reliable cycles for something like this. Yeah, I actually quite like the stuff. Also, this is a jank-ass map anyway. Like, I think it's very reasonable to do this. So then, oh yeah, so I can't remember who asked for this, but yeah. So this by brush entity. Oh no, what I wanted was this door.
Probably the trigger multiple to open it.
No, there's a door here. I'm pretty sure this was the only func door on the map. I searched for door. Just made this bigger. Huh. Oh, I might have deleted it already and not. Oh wait,
Have
no,
you
does it?
opened the wrong version of the map again?
Perhaps. This may be the one. Yeah, you could also do that as well. Actually, yeah. I'm not sure what I've done here, but it's for save it. Like, I was just gonna go and delete that door, and that should work. And now, there are a couple of other things. So I've done the game asset thing already. But I think that's enough for Lumper for now. There's other stuff Lumper can do. Some specifically for back file editing. It can do like fancy drag drop stuff and refactor entities if you move files around. It can also rename cube maps for you. So if you want to rename a map without breaking cube maps, you can do it. There's a CLI for that as well, and it can do BSP zip. You can save. It does compression stuff for you. Don't run BSP zip. That's nice.
Yeah, a lot of compression stuff. In fact, something that
Yeah.
we could look into is like packed textures. We could recompress them with like vtext2 or whatever whenever that gets far enough along. like to like
Yeah,
save on more space there. But we already
but
compress.
at that point, I mean, you're going to be hitting like kind of entropy limits, aren't you? Anyway, you're not
Yeah,
going to gain very much by compressing an individual texture. Then
yeah.
when I was streaming the other day, some guy was like, "Wait, you're saving it out as a zip or something?" I was like explaining the compression thing, and this guy was like, "Why not just zip it again?" And then gave me some like command like Windows command.exe or whatever thing to run that was like calling 7-zip in some crazy way. And I was like, okay, I don't have a computer science degree. I don't really know how entropy works, but that's not a thing. There, um,
Sounds like ChatGPT running loose. I don't know. Anyway, but
no,
yeah,
it's just
there's a
this.
lot. I mean, the main thing with the compression is just we want to make sure because we're hosting all of this for free, so
Yep.
minimizing as much as possible is on our
Honestly, that's true, but I
to
think more
do.
than anything, it's like map folders get really big.
Yeah.
Like it really does take up a lot of people's space
Yep.
on stuff. You know, I would recommend like having momentum on a hard drive if you've got a big hard drive, put momentum on there. Like, you don't need like really good
We could probably even.
speed.
I think it's a card on our
But also, yeah,
1,000+ card backlog of We could have like map library locations or like just
yeah,
a
yeah,
changed folder. Like you can specify where you want your maps to
yeah,
be, so you can just throw them on like a hard drive or something. Because once you're in the map, it's not loading anything else from
for
disk
sure, for sure, for sure.
from the map at least, but it's
Yeah.
all in RAM.
So yes, and it is like, you know, stuff like deflate decompression stuff is basic decompressors at read speed, right? Or it's
Yeah,
no, maybe not. I don't think that's true, but it's fast.
it's fast.
Okay, so here's some stuff. This has been lumper, and the other thing we've got is lumper's good for obvious changes. There's some stuff where you want to be able to test stuff, and this is what Panda's been working on. Where this is the Steam build, by the way, if you want to see it. So
Yeah, the
Devu I show,
O10 pre branch. If you have
yeah,
Steam, make sure you opt into
yeah,
that to test this out. So this is using mGUI,
yeah,
which is an in-game or no, sorry, like very easy to use UI system, but doesn't look that great. So we can't use it for like Panorama is more of like our user-facing HUD, like beautiful map selector, all of that.
yeah.
This UI is going to be all of our dev tooling, like in engine stuff. It's been really nice being able to use this.
MGU is just easy as shit to
It's
write.
so
It
nice.
takes so little time to learn. It's also simple enough that I do find asking like LLMs to do it, like they'll just spit it out like exactly what you want. Like I've not really had to
Yeah.
learn MGUI with like the docs are a bit crap. It seems to
Yeah.
me. But like if I say like how do I do this? How do I make a button that's like disabled? It just tells you. So, but also like yeah, this stuff, all the lumber stuff is all this crazy observable reaction stuff, and then this is just like a
Yeah.
loop that runs every frame.
Every
and all this
frame.
stuff.
Because it's
Yeah.
constructing it every frame, but it's really fast. So
Yeah.
I mean, so is traditional UI, but it's like it's not. There's no
Yeah,
fancy
yeah.
bells and whistles.
MGUI is just the absolutely great for tooling.
Yeah. No scripting
So,
layer you have to worry about. Yeah.
I'm not going to show off some of the stuff that well because I don't know it. So there's this stuff for fixing landmark teleports and teleport velocity mode. This is on our docs. It's not finished. We have quite a bit of like ongoing doc stuff that is just it's on the docs, but we're just editing stuff pretty rapidly. So also we should probably do a separate section for this stuff. But
yeah, for porting.
map warning guide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's some zoning stuff. Here's some stuff. This is mostly, I think, all plans are writing this, and then entity modifications.
You want to
So
link
here's
that in
a
the
kind
chat, by the way, for
yeah,
in Twitch
sure.
chat? Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm just gonna show the booster stuff because I understand how it works. The other stuff I don't like. Drop teleports I don't really get. But there's this thing like the kind of cage thingy thing, and you can change things. But yeah, what's great is like this is in game and it can modify entities. So if I go to, I think this is this one. Yeah, okay. So this is a good example, right? This map has, I'm going to just do a kind of jank fucking save lock rather than actually surf it. Yeah. So this is how you're meant to do this map. The like noob way is to do this like multiple times, which is kind of harder in a way. But this is something you shouldn't be able to do. And for this one, I think for this, the way to do it is just put a cooldown on it. So if I just do this cooldown and set this to like 5. Now, if I unknow clip, do this. do a cheeky little head hit there. There we go, no boost. Beautiful. But then I hit it that time because it's 5 seconds. So something like that. Maybe that's a little bit kind of invisible, that behavior doing the cooldown like that, but I don't think it's too bad. I'm not quite sure what the correct thing in this case is, but yeah, just to show it off.
It would be the same vein of like zone visualization, where we would have to visualize boosters with some sort of like particle effects if there's cooldowns, or like red
maybe.
and blue or something to
Yeah, I
indicate if
guess.
they're active. There's ways that we could make it work. It's
So I don't think this teleport, I don't think you can abuse, and I'm not sure why that is.
You can't abuse it, but I'm pretty sure it's broken, right? Doesn't it sometimes?
Yeah, I think it's just a bit
You?
shite.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is something that you'd want to change to a set speed or something instead.
For one-time only stuff resistance, I think there's some way of doing it with set speed, or you can do entity IO stuff for it. But I forget, and I don't really know the stuff that well. But okay, if I find this one, I guess in this case I do just need to trial and error this. There's not very many boosters. Ignore the dog noises. That's not in the game. This is a good booster.
Not yet, at least.
But I like how like Lampa's like even like nicer for this. So where's the? Do we have a thing for I don't think we have a thing for detecting this. That's a shame. So there's pineapple. There's apple.
That could be something we add to, just a little sphere.
This one. Okay. No.
Like sphere sort, and like just kind of sort entities based on how close they are to you.
Yeah, that's what I did for Lampa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is this trigger. I think in this case you would probably want to do a set speed. Don't know if this works. But yeah, Imgui is awesome.
This is making live entity updates to like the actual entity instance in the game.
Yeah.
But that's only per like load of the level, right? Like this isn't going to stick through.
Yeah.
You're going to have to export it to do that. But
that's what we do, and the way we apply it permanently is with stripper configs. So this code is this system generates stripper configs that then you then apply with Lumper. And I guess given that we've done a fair bit of time stuff this already, I'll just show this off to jump to the chase.
This is fine.
Bam! No, it didn't work. Bam! It worked. There we go. It did it. So it just made a stripper job that then if I run it, it now applies everything. That is saying applied did this property. I'm not sure. So yeah, it's not going to get the it's not going to get this right where it updates the entity. I can make it do that soon. I just need to make it so certain jobs trigger a view model reload thing. Yeah. That's fine. But so yeah, I'm not sure if these are correct. Like if this is right, I'm not sure, but we'll see. I think this is okay. I mean, Panther was saying that he did this and it worked, so
okay.
Yeah. So that's a brief intro to Lumper and entity tools. Yeah, me and Panther are spending a lot of time on this stuff, but we really, really, really want to get this process ironed out. And quite a few of these changes you could just do in Hammer. You could decompile, do the change in Hammer, stuff like that. When possible, if we can avoid doing a whole decompile, that's really preferable. It's also a lot more straightforward to use if you're not a Hammer person. And we're kind of trying to make it so the changes you make to a map are like, it's a big list of changes, but just that list. And unless you're the author of that map and you're porting it yourself, yeah, there's an in-game key overlay.
It's in the bottom right corner.
It looks a bit crap. We have a better looking version.
Yeah, we have all 11.
Yeah, one day. Sorry, what was I saying? We do want like the kind of, if you're not the author of the map, like we don't want people that portal like making loads of really big changes and stuff, especially when it comes to like moving map geometry, stuff like that is something we really don't want. There's some cases where you can convert trigger teleports to use. I think I have actually kind of fucked this booster. I don't know, maybe it's okay. To use like the surface prop mode thing, where like it's so you only actually get teleported if you literally hit the surface, which for like lazily zoned teleport triggers and stuff, can work quite a lot better. But and that's kind of, it is a kind of gameplay change, but it's quite subtle. So we were cool with that. But right. So this was this then. Just to briefly go over other stuff, I'm going to get rid of Lumper now. I'm not going to do the whole submission for this map. Let's just imagine that I've applied that and done all that. I just don't want to do the hassle of it. The other thing we have is, if you want to start actually submitting maps, let's just quickly a quick show of this. We have a new command, mom screenshot official. This command is basically just this. Source has a feature where it can take a screenshot at a higher resolution than your game.
Source has a feature. This is added by SL.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a native Source thing, but okay.
Maybe the PNG command was added. Anyway, yeah, it's very cool. Very, very cool.
So yeah, did I get it? Where is it? What am I looking for? Fruits. Yeah, so there's some screenshots.
Beautiful.
This forces your brightness to 1. Because some mappers map on a really high brightness, which is stupid. Don't do that. Like the screenshot should look like it looks for the average player. So,
yeah.
Brightness 1. And it means if you make your map stupidly dark because you're playing on a really high map brightness and make the map too dark, don't do that. That's idiotic. But then your map's going to look different from what you want in the screenshot.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit sassy of us to make people do that, but I think
it's absolutely required. Like, I know that people can change their brightness at any time, but we don't want to force people to have to play your
yeah, exactly.
It's really dumb. We'll have bare minimum, like, again, our rubric for what we're looking for in maps to be officially like ranked and competitively viable will be just how does it look at like just stock settings, right? Like, is it okay to play in stock settings? Screenshots will help you with that, but we'll also have, map review, map testing. You'll get feedback hopefully about whether or not a map looks good on people's machines.
If a map is insanely dark, that I think might be a case where it could get recompiled.
Yeah.
We may want to talk about that a bit. Generally, we do want to try to stick to like mappers' intentions.
But it might not need to if we go with the clustered renderer. We just add lights, start.
It still uses light maps. Oh, why we just add new ones?
Yeah, just add dynamic lights into the map.
Yeah,
we'll see. Very exciting, though, but yeah, that's not high priority for O10.
How do I do this? This is checkpoint. Sorry, so I just realized the other thing to show. This stuff isn't done, by the way, but this is new zoning. It's been changing a little bit. I'm gonna just kind of gloss over this because honestly, I don't actually know this UI particularly well. Oh my god, he worked. Oh, nice. That's so good. It used to be that like you had to like look at a wall or something, so it like that's actually really nice. Okay, so this is a new zoning UI. Maybe it's a bit hopefully, yeah, you can see it on stream. Okay. Start zone, yada yada yada. I think. Oh wait, what did I do? I need to go to this and then. Oh, what do I? Okay. I think this. I thought there was a. I have to do a thingy thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's just make this map really short.
Serve fruits.
Yeah.
Quick.
Okay. Again, this stuff isn't finished. Fruit. Yeah. There's. Yeah. You can do non-cuboid stuff. Oh, I could show that here. Let's try and change this pick points. If I do this. Oh, look at that! Look, it's got like a gimbal, and the zones are fucked.
Look at that.
Right. Beautiful.
There's your start zone.
Yeah. Ellis has been working on this for a really long time. This is sick, actually. I didn't realize how good this was now. Yeah. This has been just Ellis is like this has just been his thing for like the last year is this system, and it's great. So wait, how do I let's kill
the flickering entity text is interesting. I wonder if the duration needs to be like 0 or something.
Oh. Probably one to find. Reading length, classic.
Okay.
I think he warned me about this, or maybe I'm not sure. I seem to have broken everything.
Oh, no.
Again, this stuff is not finished. The zoning stuff is like we wanted to like show stuff off a little bit, but like again, we've got fruits added already, and we don't want to go through and zone the whole map anyway. But I'm gonna leave zoning there. I think
that's fine.
But there's a quick little intro to new zones and stuff. The one thing I would really like to show if I could would be just skim through like the. Does this? It's not letting me like pick points now.
This is the focus issue.
The game, unlucky.
Yeah. Right?
We have a weird panorama.
Oh, is it that? Oh, it is. Maybe it is
where
that. Okay.
The game is stealing input where Pano needs it. So, like, I think, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like now I have.
Oh my god, it's stretching.
Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe don't make a zone like this. This is really cool though.
This is so sick.
But the
You can start anywhere
It's a
in
really
the
good
void.
zone. Yeah. But yeah, there's also this like safe height. I forget exactly what that is. It's like there's areas where you can go above the floor that
Yeah,
you're
where there's
allowed
like
in
ramps or
without the
other
timer
like
starting.
geometry in the
Yeah,
map where you could climb up.
yeah,
I think, oh man, I forget the name. A bunch of maps that have like a lot of stuff at the
yeah,
beginning. We safe height just allows you to specify as a zoner or mapper where exactly you want players to like be. There's Z value, right? So yeah, like if we want people to only be able to start not in the water or something, we could set the safe height to be, you know, that platform that's like right outside the water there, as opposed to in the water or something.
yeah,
But it's more for, yeah, like if you have a map where it's like, hey, you want to jump off the actual platform and not some weird like
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
ceiling thing or whatever. Yeah, so you can specify that. Most of the time the safe height is like the zone Z, but you can override it as well if you want people to be elevated a little more as well. You can
Mhm.
set a safe height there.
This has been just a really tedious thing that we've had to do with O10 is like a lot of like whatchamacallit, edge conditions,
Yeah,
edge cases.
edge cases. Yep.
Getting edge cases and race conditions. Edge cases
Race
are like
conditions.
weird stuff different maps do. Surf Mashup has like 4 different weird edge cases that we've had to talk about. I guess there's like 12, 20 stages in that, so.
Yeah.
But, butter overflows. Yeah, what the hell is a butter overflow? But yeah, so there's zoning. And now just real quick, I'm not going to go over website stuff too much because we've shown it off a little bit before. But once you've done all this, then there's the what is this screenshot, Panzer? It's like
Yeah,
the
it's so
worst.
bad.
Panzer, no. Update map. There we go. Much better. Yeah. So there's map reviews, all this stuff, map submission, big fucking form, basically.
Yeah.
There's a really big form. You go in here, go to your maps, stuff shipments, good stuff. Yeah, we showed this off on the Christmas thing a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, BSP file, zones, VMFs, optionally.
Yeah, you can also, yeah, as a mapper,
Oh,
we really want you to be able to back up your VMFs through submission. So we'll store
yeah,
it for you, but yeah, I mean, it's really just consider it like a backup of your map if you
yeah,
need to clear up space or worry about, you know, dying hard drive or whatever.
yeah. So yeah, mass submission. It's a big form. I think we should probably get to questions soon anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to go through the whole path. But yeah, map submission is going to be really fun. We still have to finish a lot of stuff, a lot of unfinished text and stuff here. There's one thing that's like contributors to do. I'm bored doing
bored.
tomorrow. I wrote that in December of 2023, I think.
Classic.
Leaderboards to do.
Yeah.
Just stuff to
A lot
write.
of wording that I'll be working with, yeah, with
Yeah,
you and
yeah,
just
absolutely.
we'll get like team input on as well. Same with
Yeah.
these porting guides. We are publishing them on our docs right now, but like it's a work in progress until, I mean, even after 0.10 as we just figure
Oh
out
yeah,
things
yeah.
that people are finding out or like, you know, rules that we need to add or something. But
Well,
the
that's
main
something
thing
we
is that
could.
we really want it to be open. Like we really want to make sure all of this is communicated
Yeah,
extremely well in every place, right? Like on our maps, in the tooling itself, right? Lumber having some stuff like some tooltips there or something, like anywhere that you're going to be using the tool, just being able to, I mean, our docs are probably like the number one spot because that's like just so easy to point people to. But yeah, just making it kind of easy so it doesn't take a genius to port a map, right? Like if you have a favorite
yeah,
map,
yeah.
you have these rule sets that we have, you have, you know, the things that you'll need to do and remove in a doc, and you just got to go through the process of doing it.
Oh, is it?
And then yeah. Out of bounds. Okay, so this is the one that was fixed up by Panzer, that was
I think
properly
so.
zoned.
My timer doesn't seem to be running. I do have cheats on.
Oh,
I
what?
think.
Yeah, no, it is running. Oh, the UI is counting.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so. It just says spawn.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Not sure that's right.
That isn't.
Could just be broken. Also, yeah, good credits.
Yeah, that's also
um,
gonna probably move because we're gonna probably consolidate that to the map selector. Doesn't make sense to have that recurring information.
I quite like it here. It's just when you get these collabs, it can be a bit ridiculous.
Oh, true. Yeah, that too.
But
Collab maps. Tons of people
this
working on
stage
it. You
is
gotta show everybody who
awful.
worked on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna just play this map.
Cool. Sounds
I feel
good.
like
We'll
it.
get into our
But should we
first
get
question.
on to questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry, can I just finish just by saying, so if people want to start getting involved with porting stuff, we're just about at the point where people can start doing that.
Yeah.
Where so Lumper 1.1 is out. This entity tool stuff isn't technically merged. So yeah, the door's gone. This is Panzer supposed to be, but the PR for entity tools 2 is not in yet, but it's basically done. I think there's like 1 or 2 small little things to change.
I think the spine hop there that you had to do screwed you up there.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. I think we've shown this a little bit, but yeah,
Yeah.
you can't bhop on spines unless they make
We
you
have-
bhop on them.
Yeah, it is now opt-in for mappers to allow people to bhop on ramp spines. So
Yeah.
the majority of maps that have, shortcuts or just cheese routes, right, of jumping on spines, you no longer can take advantage of that. You have to do the map as God intended himself. Now, as the mapper intends.
Yeah. Why can't I surf
The
on that?
only way I beat surf. I'm sorry, Excelor, you're going to have to learn how to surf instead of bhop. But all right, Mac, yeah, if you want to take us away on our first
Move on
question.
to some of the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the first one is fittingly from Apple. Will there be daily cups / leaderboards like in Trackmania?
So I am a big fan of having. Oh my God, what is happening there? VMT file for.
Error loaded VM2 file. Great stuff.
That looks rough. Okay.
Hanzo, what have you done?
No, it's probably some weird compression thing.
Oh, it could
Anyway.
be Lumper's fault. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. So daily cups, cup of the day. That kind of stuff is very, very cool. In my eyes, it is not planned for anytime soon at all. We really want to get O10 out, and then just kind of see how our systems are faring, and then start to introduce it. But yes, I would love to have more daily kind of activity that you can do. We'll have daily challenges as well, which is like just beating, specific maps. We're going to be using that to highlight either, older maps that didn't get enough attention or just kind of maps in a rotation. This is on top of seasonal content that we want to have as well, where you have seasonal leaderboards with new maps that are only for those seasons and stuff like that. Like we have a lot of planned kind of like timed content like this. So absolutely cup of the day just being another daily thing that you can participate in would be really, really cool. I'm not sure how exactly it works in Trackmania. I don't know if it's like you have to like kind of matchmake for it, or if it's like something you can do asynchronously. But we could absolutely kind of do our own spin on it, maybe asynchronously, and have like a map that we just want to see who gets like a daily leaderboard, right, for this. I know cup of the day is a little more formal, like you're kind of going until people get eliminated, right? So I don't know if we'll do that directly, but yeah, absolutely, we do want to have some sort of cup of the day. We could try to do exactly what Trackmania does if it can work, but most of the time we kind of take our own spin on things. So we'll see. We'll kind of mess around with it, but yeah, absolutely.
There was an idea floated around a while ago of like any new map that gets added having the hidden leaderboard for a week, so that people can compete on new maps for a week, and then it's like a big event when the map gets like fully released, all the leaderboards get public, and you can see the demos of the top players and who's routed the map the best within that week, where everything was kept hidden. I like that idea.
Yeah.
That does mean that you get a bit more competition on new maps without just people copying each other.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like that's like, and it's also like preventing spam too, because if you like notify on like world record or whatever, so it'll be easier on our back end a little bit there if we just churn through rank points in like a week. But yeah, I think that system, and it, yeah, like having more, because there's all the way from like a daily thing that we throw, right, like a tournament thing that we throw, to like custom tournaments too. Like there's a whole span of kind of esport-esque things that we'd really like to try to do. And it's just a matter of seeing where we can like have systems in place to help facilitate it. If there's, you know, more third-party integration things that we would need to look into that might like not really, I don't know, that might help, but it's really just a matter of seeing like, yeah, what would people want, and track of the like track of the day, cup of the day, right, map of the day for us or something like that. That would be really cool.
It would have to be like a very simple tier 1 for most people to be able to participate, though. But yeah, our game is a lot harder than Trackmania is just for finishing levels.
Yeah. Whoa. Surf Ramp's going crazy with the Kongs.
And this should have a leaderboard in Kong.
Should it?
That is
actually
yeah,
no. I don't think
that's
it
a
does.
good
You're just
question.
saying it 2K the entire time and not really doing anything.
Maxwell 2K. Let's
Well,
go.
it gets a hidden leaderboard.
Yeah,
Like
it gets a hidden one, but I don't know why you'd ever want to play it.
We're about to
I don't
find
know.
out. Can Tom beat it? I believe.
I don't think so.
Don't
This
get
is actually
rambugged. Oh,
The hard bit coming up is going through this tunnel.
yeah.
I don't like it. It seems doing the handhelds. I guess you just need to be going in the right direction.
Yeah. It's
Which
all
is
about
generally
timing.
how you play any of these modes.
Yeah.
But
handhelds for Kong normally anyway. But yeah, so just reiterating for this question, absolutely, we want to have you know, as many kind of competition-esque things as we can get in track of the, or cup of the day rather. I keep saying track of the day. Trackmania's cup of the day would be really fun. I think that would be very cool to try to implement somehow. It won't be anytime soon, just because we got to focus on the
post
core system.
1.0 kind of soon. Yeah, like really late.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers that. Thank you for the question. We'll move on to the next one.
Okay, next question is from Squirrel. Except for Tom, what's the story behind your usernames?
Why are we excluding Tom from this?
If you're calling Tom Tom and not fingerprints, sure. But
what's the story behind it,
I have
Tom?
a username I use a bit, which is, haven't I said this on Q&A before? I feel like I have.
I think so, yeah. But it's been a while.
From Residents album, which is not even a very good album or a particularly good band. Actually, I think the Residents are actually a bit crap. But yeah,
that's fair. Mac?
Mine was just something silly that I made up when I was about 12, and it's just stuck.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's literally mine.
It's my Xbox Live username.
Nice. Xbox Man 99.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, mine is I was signing up for RuneScape and like 8 years old and obsessed with go-karts and proper spelling. So the GOC is from go-karts.
Nice.
And NAK are my initials. So it has literally never been used in any site. Every time I sign up, well, okay, that's not a challenge, but like anyway, like you know what I mean. It's like it's so abstract, but it's stuck with me, and I didn't come up with anything better, and I'm just like it's so unique that whatever, like it's me, you know. And I grew.
It's a bit of a I can't call you it.
No, that's fair. Yeah, it
I
sounds
think
like
it's one of those.
Smack. Like there's definitely some like it's very like feels very German as well. Cognac, yeah, like the prison wine. That's
Cognac.
right.
Wait, what? You know what?
No, it's cognac's alcohol, right? Like it's like a.
Oh yeah, it's like brandy.
Brandy, that's
Cognac's
it. Okay.
brandy, isn't it? Oh, prison wine. Cognac is like super expensive.
But yeah, no, that's no, it was not named after the brandy. I'm not an alcoholic, luckily. Fortunately. This game would never come out if I was. But yeah, definitely a fun history that's just stuck with me. And yeah, I'm definitely glad that I stuck with it because yeah, I don't know what other cringe ass usernames I would have. I know I have my Xbox one where it's just like just press B or something. It's just something dumb where it's just I don't know. I don't know why I didn't go with. I think that was like my because it was like RuneScape, and then I got my 360 in my online like gamer tag, and I was like, oh, I'll try something different. It was like Just Press B or something, and that didn't really stick. It's fun. It's a fun name, but like, yeah, Goknak's just too. It's too unique, so sticking with it. But hopefully that answers your question, Squirrel. We'll move on to the next one.
Are you trying to debug why it's not updating the leaderboard stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier as well.
I think Panzer might have fixed it, or he might have broken it actually, given that it was working before and he changed some
We
stuff.
might be getting a Walter appearance. Hi, buddy.
Ooh.
Epic.
Anyway, next question. We've got. Is it Curry Brackets? Was that their Twitch name?
Yeah,
Curry Braces.
Curly braces.
Curry
brackets.
Curry Brackets.
He said he wanted to call himself Curly Brackets on Twitch, and it was like taken or something. So he did Curry Brackets, which I thought was a genuinely good name.
That's pretty good.
Like, wait, I just launched TF2.
Playing
to play some Valve pubs.
Yeah, Valve.
I thought Curry Brackets was like a legitimately funny username, and then he was like, I don't know what curry is. But that guy seemed really chill. So yeah.
We're getting a Walter.
I want to play Omnibus
everyone.
Again.
Say hello.
Speaking of TF2, anyway,
hello
Curry
to Walter.
Brackets. Hello, Walter.
Hello, Walter.
Yeah. Curry Brackets asks, will there be more modes from TF2? For example, I would like to be able to jump and run everywhere like Scout.
What
So I don't know
what's the map? Aluminum.
Aluminum.
Yeah.
I love that video. So maybe not necessarily just Scout movement, but yeah, we do want to add things like trimping.
No.
Not trimping, probably.
No, trimping we're not.
Might get like Beggar's Bazooka and Airstrike because they're actually like unique modes of rocket jump and have a bit of depth to them. But yeah,
I said might.
It is really about depth and people actually playing jump maps or maps for that. Like, there are some maps for like there is jump aluminum, the whatchamacallit, the Force of Nature map.
Yeah.
But like, there's not a map that we would. It's not a mode we would do like Force of Nature jumping. Like game modes in Momentum are like whole coherent things that like are worthy of leaderboards and people playing regularly and stuff, right? And with something like trimping, like people ask about trimping quite a bit, but like until there are people playing trimp maps regularly in TF2, like no, it just seems really.
So it is a very chicken and egg problem. We've talked specifically about trimping a while ago, like probably over a year ago at this point. But trimping, like we could add as an experimental mode. There's a lot of like freedom in the future to add like experimental modes from like other games and stuff. The main thing is that Momentum isn't meant to be an all-encompassing source movement game. It's meant to be like a centralization around movement game modes that already exist, because that like they don't, again, the platform is offering things that you can't really find on servers, right? With like play any map you want for how long you want, like with whoever you want. That whole aspect, right, is the main priority of Momentum. And then on top of that, we can start to do things like a campaign and like, make it like a proper game, proper like, education around how to do the modes. So adding more modes isn't our priority at all. I say as we have now like pretty much 10 modes, but it truly isn't our priority, right? Like we're trying to get unique movement in the game first, and adding spin-offs isn't really the highest priority for us.
Yeah.
Of like, like add scout movement. Like what I guess there's a double jump.
What would that be?
It's just a double jump.
It's not, there aren't maps that are doing.
And parkour can absorb that. We're gonna have Titanfall 2-esque movement with parkour, and that has a double jump and wall running, and like it's a little more involved. And you are running around more like a scout on steroids, I guess, like a pilot from TF2, from the other TF2. So yeah, like that. Our main priority with Momentum is just kind of making unique game modes. Walter, do not choke yourself on my headphone cable. Good job, bub. He's full orange today. He's orange and white, but some days he goes full orange. Anyway, he's watching you surf and judging you.
Nice.
And by that I mean he's okay. Don't hit the keyboard either. Anyway, yeah. So we will likely see Beggar's Bazooka and Airstrike as RJ spin-off modes. And we're gonna have our tricks mode, which is kind of like how trick surf, and extending it to other modes as well, because why not? Because the theory is pretty sound of like, if you have like a mode that you can specify like things that you have to do, that would be really fun. But yeah, we're gonna be pretty reserved about adding new modes until we really deem that it's worthwhile to.
Yeah.
So like all of the modes Momentum has now, with even parkour not really being implemented and trick surf stuff being ripped out and stuff. We'll revisit it with fresh eyes later on. But all of the modes that we have, right, have a very deep meaning and fit Momentum perfectly, right, of being a single player speedrun mode. And that's why we're not adding hide and seek. That's why we're not adding combat surf or anything like that, because again, it's not our goal to just be a sandbox Gary's mod of all your Source movement. It's just it's a speedrunning platform, right? That we want to, you first and foremost, you play the game, you learn how to do it if you don't know how to do it, and then you just grind for PBs, and then scaling past that, all right, how good is your PB compared to other people, your friends, and then groups, and then world record, and that's the route. All right, Walter has successfully shed all over my SHED all of his fur on my desk, and I cleaned it off. We're good though. He might go on the wheel, so if you see that spinning. Anyway, yeah, so just long-winded answer to this while I was kind of busy with my desk, but the main thing is just the mode has to make sense for Momentum to support it. We aren't adding everything in every mode that everyone's ever played under the sun, right? Like, that's not our goal. We'd rather have meaningful content that can last long too, and that's the main problem with Trimping, is that it doesn't really have a dedicated mode. But like, if we add it as an experimental thing, that could give a lot of mappers tools to be able to make trimping stuff. So
yeah,
chicken and egg, right? Like, so do we make
but I just think there's
a
bit of egg already.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not very
you could still be making trimp maps for TF2.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, there's like one.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's not.
I mean, if people were making the maps and playing it, then that would be like a big. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps. No, we're not just going to add scout movement into the game for no reason. So that answers that question. But more, broadly, we add modes as we see fit. So. Thank you for asking that. We'll move on to the next one.
Let's talk.
Squirrel asks, what goes on in your weekly meetings? I was not as excited as the question marks and the exclamation marks. I mean, yeah, I wanted to scream it, but it is almost 10:30, so.
Our plans for world domination. In seriousness, our meetings are just check-ins with people in the team. Working on different things. Just the main 3 things that we ask are, what did you do? What are you going to do? And are you blocked by anything? That's all we need, right? That's all I need as a project lead to know what's happening. And it's good to just communicate, hey, I'm busy with school. Hey, I'm busy with work. Hey, I've been traveling a bunch, or I'm out, or whatever. It's good to just communicate. Our meetings are not meant to be like, we actually been flip-flopping on times just to get different people into the meetings that have, like, Rio and Vortex, right, for example, were 2 that couldn't make the earlier ones, but now we have a later one. But it's good to have just a direct conversation, see how things are going, see like what they've been working on, because you can't always publish that. You can screen share though. So it's been really nice to be able to like kind of do that. And yeah, it's really just a matter of catching up.
I think the most important section is the what's blocking me thing, because if there's work that other people are working on that you need them to push an update for so that you can work on top of it, that's good to know.
I mean, for what it's worth, like the meetings have in the last couple of years become a lot more discursive, which I think is really good. I've been pushing for that. I'm always talking in meetings.
Yeah.
Because I honestly, if it's just Nick reading out people's sections that they've all written in a Google Doc, I don't need to be there for that. Like, you can just read the Google Doc. The check-ins are good, and often like stuff gets raised that are relevant. But there is still, I'll do the easy thing when I actually beat this fucking map. But I do think like meetings have become a lot better because we do spend more time actually talking about design stuff. It can be a bit complex when sometimes we want to talk about stuff that's NDA blocks. So sometimes we have licensee only meetings, where that's going to be going over technical stuff and looking at C++ code that we can't share with the rest of the team. But we don't do a ton of that. And actually, we've been trying to do more team design related stuff or
more
outside of the
design stuff, and then implementation talk can be in our private Discord.
We sort of, I think we were shifting a little bit towards using the private one a bit too much for stuff, and that can only be seen by members of the team who are licensed devs, which is honestly most of the time is the majority of the people talking about the things are licensees, but it's still a shame to exclude people, so we've been trying to avoid that. But like the best meetings are the ones where like it usually is someone's section and they're talking about stuff they've done, but it turns into a big half-hour discussion of some system. And as long as we actually take away stuff from that and then actually write it down afterwards, so we don't just fucking forget about it, those tend to be really helpful. And the new stuff having Vortex and Rio is really great because so much of the really important decisions being made in the last couple of years of Momentum have been around Rio. So having him in meetings is
playermodel and Vortex doing a lot of awesome playermodel work, and also our particles. They've done a lot of particle work as well. So just having another another time for key members to be able to jump in and give input as well.
But time zones are just bastards for us.
So I mean, most of the time it's not really anything super exciting because it's all just kind of like, hey, I've been busy or whatever, and it's me reading sections. But when we discuss, like when we start to discuss, and like these aren't necessarily the weekly meetings. Sometimes we schedule one-offs too. Like Traz is not around for the meeting, so we schedule a one-off UI discussion meeting, and we just go through UI mockup and just kind of like see what works, what doesn't. And like it's a lot of just kind of like planning around features mainly. Good luck. Oh wait, actually that's not bad. This is your like TikTok content, everyone. I gotta cut a vertical slice of this and put it on our TikTok. Anyway, so our meetings aren't like super like mind-blowing, but once we start seeing like progress being shared and discussing things and getting like specs, like a lot of that was like a lot of heavy planning around like speccing out things was earlier, like I'd say like earlier last year, and then we started to implement it, and like seeing that come to fruition has been amazing. And we do that through meetings, right? Like it's just a giant sync, so we're synchronizing on it.
I hate this.
So and the thing about meetings too is that you don't have to attend, obviously. Like I can't force people to. The main thing is just like going through that document, and like if there's anything blocking, bringing that up, seeing what we can do about the blocking. Most of the time it's just real life stuff. That's how it goes. But it's nice. Just keep everybody on the same page, because you kind of have to for a project like this where everyone's different time zones, etc. Very fun. But thank you for that question, Squirrel. We'll move on to the next.
Okay. Curly brackets is back again, asking, are you planning to increase the game's reach? That is, increase the weekly participation on Steam.
Yes, we are. We have a really big plan for something called O10O, and it's going to increase the weekly participation tenfold at least. No, we aren't looking at metrics. The only time I will look at metrics is 1.0. I mean, okay, sorry. I'll look at O10O's metrics. I care. But like we are so far from like proper like, hey, this is a game like that's done, and like everyone and their grandma should play it right now. Like 0.10.0 will be rough around the edges, but playable, super playable, and that's why we're doing it, right? We want to see where those rough edges are, so we can smooth them out. But we're not like this is also just a dangerous mindset to have as like a gamer, or like being in game dev or whatever, is like looking at numbers, because like I always see this in like YouTube videos and stuff. It's like, oh, this game is dead, look at the player count. And like that doesn't always necessarily tell a full story, unless, yeah, I don't know. Like it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't really paint a good picture, other than just like you're looking at a stat that doesn't really like matter as a game dev. Like, I guess if we wanted to see like the less, okay, here's the like hard truth, is the less people that play Momentum, the easier it's going to be on our wallet. Like, that's just the hard truth. I mean, duh, right? First of all, but second of all, like that's just the truth. But like, I'm not, and I'm also like not making Momentum to have 1 billion players or whatever. Like, I don't want to, yeah, I don't want Momentum to be perceived as like the solution to Valve's bullshit with CSS or sorry, CSGO and CS2, or like anything like that. Like, I'm just trying to make a game that I've always wanted to play, and everybody else on the team is also somewhat aligned to that. I'd say like they're making a game that they want to play as well, that they like, that's why we have these other modes in it, right? Like they're very interested in these modes. That's why we added all of them. Like, we have such an awesome team that's well versed in different things, but we're not, again, making it so that like all of these modes are super niche. I mean, yeah, everybody's watched like surfing videos, which is insane. So like people know what the gameplay looks like, at least somewhat, because of just YouTube shorts or whatever, like TikToks or whatever. So that's cool. But yeah, like I don't really think like engaging directly with like player counts or like worrying about that is healthy. Right, like that's not something that even as product lead or tech, you know, like tech lead of Momentum, that we should worry about, other than just like, are our servers on fire? Like, I'll be looking at metrics to see if our servers are on fire.
Well, yeah, I do think if we end up
massively,
if we blow up like that, we'll get so many donations that, I mean, I'm way more concerned about that for the technical side of it. That's
so
not scaling well.
It is a good streamer game. It is a really good game just from the baseline, right? Like, Source movement is super fun, and it being free to play, super easy to get into. We'll have learn mode, right? We'll have you be able to play with friends and see their movement and see their input, so you can even learn directly from somebody if you want to. And we'll have public servers, right, and stuff, so you can learn from literally anyone if you want to. Like, it'll be very approachable, but we're not going to directly embrace like, hey, we need weekly numbers, we need weekly, or like DAO, right, daily active users, or some shit like that, where we need like to appease some company or some shareholder or something, because it's just a passion project. And like, if nobody plays it except for me, that's okay. It's sad, but that means I fucked up like a ton. But that's like, again, not my goal is to have a shit ton of like billions of players, like all like, I'm making the most approachable game ever, right? Like, it's so niche, it's so like, my expectations for like, I mean, 0.10 might pop off a little bit. My expectations for like 1.0 or 0.10 or like whatever our biggest release will be, I'm not sure. I'm hoping 1.0 is bigger, but like,
I'm going back over to the 0.10,
non-0.10. Yeah, that's fair for the maps.
Yeah, and also I want to stop streaming. I'm tired.
Oh yeah, okay.
If you want to
Yeah,
join Specs, that'd be good.
Yeah, yep. But I'm fully expecting like our peak to be like 5,000 players, and then it'll drop to a steady 1,000, and I'll be happy with that. I'll be completely ecstatic that there's people that enjoy it. And that's super maintainable. That's super affordable for us. Like that is super like awesome. Again, I'm not making the game to only have 5,000 players, but that's my expectation. Is like, that's at most what I would expect. Something so niche, right? Something so niche that people have already burnt out with how long we're taking. Oh, we're taking our sweet ass time with this or whatever. Like, I know there's so much energy that like turned people off from this, but the project has been not evolved, but like almost reborn with each kind of like stage, and we're on a pretty good stage, I'd say now. So yeah, I'm super pumped to get the game out to see how people like it, but I'm not ever going to be like, we need a higher weekly weekly active user count. We're gonna go insolvent. In fact, I'm just happy to have at least double-digit players. That'd be cool. Like if 5 people plus the team play the game, like that'd be cool. Anyway, so short answer, no. We're gonna release the game and hope it does well and word of mouth spreads it. We're not really gonna market it. We'd like streamers to play it. There's big streamers that would love to surf, I'm sure, and this game will be a perfect place for them to do it. Because
we'll market stuff how we can. I mean, we won't have money to market it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like we'll tell people about it and hope they play it. But we're not gonna throw $10,000 at Ninja for him to play it or some shit. Like we're gonna be very just like, hey, player game.
Right, but you can still do marketing in some ways without spending a ton of money.
Yeah, like we'll do release videos, we'll do hype up stuff, but again, it's not weekly. It's not going to be like a grind, right? Like we want to make sure that we're hyping up the right things because the game is hype. But I'm not going to try to engage thousands and thousands of people every week personally. I'm making this game because I want to play it. But yeah, no, I just like a lot of game dev has just been like really rewarding seeing it all come together and playing it. There's no feeling like that, I'd say, because there's
I'll be disappointed if we don't get loads of people playing it.
That's fair.
I wouldn't be working on the project if I didn't think it had a pretty decently sized large reach.
That's fair.
I just think it's just
yeah. No, that's fair. But I think it will. I think that the game is carefully being designed to be very approachable, very clean, very standardized, super easy to just jump into and play, super easy to play with others, inviting your friends to a free-to-play game that has, hundreds if not thousands of maps by the time people pick it up. So I wouldn't expect it to completely flop, but it can, and I will still deem it a success in my eyes because I have a game that I finally am so excited to just sit down and grind and play, if that makes sense. So hopefully that eases a lot of people's thoughts about why we're making this. We're not in this to make money. I mean, we've the hours that we've spent alone on working on this game could have paid off multiple houses for everyone on the team if they were fully salaried. But yeah, is that your dog behind you, Tom?
No, I stole it. Someone else's.
It's someone else's. Oh.
Just
you gonna give it back?
Nope.
Okay, no ransom. Okay. Anyway, hopefully that answers that question. We'll move on to the next one here. Thank you for asking. Oh, it's a green screen. No, you trained your dog to stand very
sorry
still.
to derail this, but what angle would I be sitting at?
You have to be squatting at sitting down, or on a yoga ball, and your desk has to be angled.
No, I'd be
taxidermy dog. Holy shit.
Yeah,
you got the angle. Oh, Mac is muted right now. I will read the next. Oh wait, no.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
All right. Welcome back. We're on the next question.
Laptop.
Oh yeah, laptop. Yeah, you're just holding your laptop with one hand, playing with the other.
But yeah, Mac.
Okay, yeah. I'm not triangles. I'm triple spike. Asks, can you use 2 game modes in one map in 087 like ahop and RJ?
No.
You can't in 087, and you can't in the current version on Steam.
Probably never, because even if we mix stuff, kind of they're different because tick rates are different in those modes. And actually, sorry, ahop and RJ are both 100. No, 66.
66.
Yeah.
The main concern with mode mixing is just like there are fundamental differences. So yeah, tick rate's the biggest one. You like fundamentally can't run the same tick rate or different tick rate. Like you would have to blend the tick rate or make it the highest one of the two. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like in 087, no. 010 will have maps that you could do multiple modes for the map, but not at the same time. And then 2.0, way down the line, we wanted to add things like custom games where you can try to like add a rocket launcher to ahop or something. Like we'll figure it out when we get closer to that. But yeah, so hopefully that helps. Thank you for the question. We'll move on to the next.
Can you spec someone, please?
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh wait, can you spec someone?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Yeah, okay. All good. I'll just play. How about that? I play some oh shit, I'm still on 010, don't worry about it. Play some Surf Utopia. No, I'm just kidding.
You could always just play maps from your library without using the map selector.
Yeah, that too. What do we got? Oh yeah, we got that one. Forgot about that one. ahop follow Freeman? Jesus. Oh, yeah, I'm training.
We would just like have like 2 maps, even if they're bad. No.
Let's see. Let's do. You were doing some conk earlier. Wait, do I only have conk?
Wait, are we?
It only
did we get
goes
to
up to like 100 entries, so you have to type a letter.
Okay. What game
next
should
question.
I play? Sorry.
I've got another question from curly brackets. Asks, what do you think the game will be like by the end of 2025? Can the game even be on Epic Games?
Even.
I think our goal is the heights of the Xbox Game Store, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Xbox Game
We're not going to be on Epic
exclusive.
Games. Like, Momentum's only ever going to be Steam. We use Steam's API for tons of stuff.
Yeah.
So never EGS. And I mean, by the end of 2025, I don't know. We'll probably have.
That is this year.
Yeah, so we'll have 010 should be out, and we're probably going to be working on ranking system stuff and anti-cheat stuff around then, probably. So we hard to know exactly what we're gonna. There's some quite big but potentially not super necessary projects, like in terms of backend stuff, we might end up going into after 010, but we need to talk about it more.
Yeah.
So there's really quite a lot of web work after 010 potentially. Of game stuff, like there's actually not. I don't know. There's quite a lot of quality of life things. The stuff we would like to get in, but the main stuff's going to be AC and.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see how the public likes 010 as well, and that might dictate a couple of changes. Just more. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, the game will be out for everyone to play test, and that will be driving a lot of kind of our quick response, like bug reports and stuff like that. We really want to make sure that the game's stable, and that will be probably the biggest focus. But that won't take like too long, and especially if we get the game out pretty soon, I'd say. We'd be able to kind of like dedicate maybe a month or so and then start to focus on 011. But yeah, I mean, I think realistically a lot of anti-cheat discussion for sure. I think realistically we'll have our game plan for our path to 1.0, right? Like that's by the end of this year we will have our path to 1.0 completely fleshed out. Because with 010 and how we got everything in, we know exactly what we need after 010. And it's just a matter of making sure everyone's on board with that. And
AC I'm not too sure about. Like AC, there's quite a lot of unknowns there still.
Yeah, and we'll figure that out. But I mean, that the main thing that I'm talking about is like we'll know exactly what we want to have for each remaining version, and we'll have a proper roadmap that's actually exactly what we're going to be doing and working on with our monthly Q&As, probably even adding a new default slide at the beginning to look at it and see what's done or where progress is for it. Oh, look at that fucking edge bug. Let's go. I'm God. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, no Epic Games. Other stores are interesting, but we love Valve and Steam, so we're going to stay on there.
I mean, the worst thing about Steam, arguably, is licensing costs, or the Steam take an extortionately large cut from games published there, but with a free-to-play game, so it doesn't really affect us.
Exactly.
If anything, we get a lot, from Steam, for free, in terms of networking stuff, datagram relay, stuff like that. I mean, Steam basically massively overcharge existing games, like profit-making games, but in our case, we basically get all of that stuff that they'd be overcharging people for free. So.
Yeah, and it's such an awesome deal that we don't really see other stores.
I loathe to say anything about Steam is an awesome deal, but yeah, for us it is good.
Yeah. No, yeah, I meant specifically in our case, it's a good deal for a free-to-play game that cannot make money directly. Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, thank you for the question. We'll move on to the next one.
I'm not triangles. I'm Spike. Asks, I'm Triple Spike rather. Asks, will you add new game modes after 1.0?
Yes.
I think we've got parkour planned, but that's about the only thing that's confirmed.
Tricks. Yeah, tricks. So tricks, if we're potentially other trick modes, that's a thing that we absolutely want to do. There was a time when we were kind of thinking about it more, and actually Nick did some of the early implementation for trick surf. Probably wasn't the best idea to do, but it made it more sense back then, because this was after Z's shutdown, because Z's decided that gamers shouldn't be gaming or something.
Yeah, something like that,
But I mean, there is trick.surf now, which seems really solid, and so it's not as if there's no trick surf playable, but Momentum is a really good platform for it, especially with our lobbies and multiplayer. Trick surf is just fun to kind of hang out on.
Yeah. And then extending it to other modes, and then parkour being Titanfall 2-esque movement, just kind of running and wall jumping, sliding. We'll look into the fun mechanics of lurch and stuff, but Titanfall 2 movement, given that it is Source Engine, so.
Because we had the question earlier about trimping and stuff like that. Those are modes that we could maybe do, and they'd be kind of lesser modes and a bit less popular. And we have some ideas for how, with the new submode system coming with 010 anyway, we have Half-Life 1 bhop, for instance, in Momentum now.
Yeah.
Where in some bits of UI we're going to make it a little less prominent. Basically, we're going to have this game mode picker UI in the future that kind of replaces the game mode picker in the map selector, but kind of applies to the entire game UI. And stuff like HL1 bhop will be kind of smaller, basically. And in code, it's identical, but there'll be some small little user-facing things that kind of make some stuff seem a little less prominent. So there's some stuff doing beggars, makes quite a lot of sense for that, and it's kind of a rocket jump variant. It would be a separate game mode. But I don't think there's that much other stuff that we're crying out to add, just because the stuff that we have added and seems to do best and bring in the most players and often bring in new devs would be really established stuff. Defrag's taken some time, and obviously all the defraggers are in the same place as everyone else, are just waiting for Momentum to release now. But defrag's gotten really, really good feedback. Lumia's gotten a ton of praise from it, and it's brought in a serious number of people, and it's brought in several new devs of people that's of Peen, and I forget who's the other defragger we brought on.
Al.
Wait,
Al's on the team.
on the team. I'm forgetting someone.
I thought Ellis. Wasn't Ellis Seagas?
Yeah.
Ellis and
Yeah, no, yeah, and Lumia was already kind of on the team. Oh no, so I guess we did bring Lumia on the team for defrag.
Yeah.
It's PR. Yeah. I can't remember. I feel like there's someone I'm forgetting, but who I guess. But Panzer kind of got involved in part with defrag stuff, I guess. Though I feel like I'm just forgetting someone really obvious. But
yeah,
sorry.
Ellis, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know him. I think there's someone else as well. But anyway, like it's like defrag's the kind of thing that's like really great to have on the project. It kind of brings in new blood, and defrag's been great. But like it's hard to see how like something like Trimping would do or be that exciting. That being said, adding new modes is very easy, especially with the nice game mode refactor stuff we have now, movement refactor stuff. So
yeah,
just not
easy to add the actual movement, and then the actual mode is another. It's like we have to.
Well, the actual mode can be really, really, really easy. Like it's like a lot of it's a bunch of enums you update in like 3 different code bases, but it's actually that's kind of most of it. Like game modes in like a database level are just numbers, right? The corresponding is the big game mode enum. But like there's not a whole lot that it takes to add a new mode. It's really just about adding stuff that is worth doing. And I think especially with 010 coming out and with HL1 bhop and maybe scroll hop or some stamina variant of bhop, and with different climb modes, and the fact we're going to have defrag, CPM, VQ3, and vintage. Like it'll be interesting to see like how those sub modes get. So, but yeah, MS Crab, like that would be. Yeah. Beggars would be a game mode. It would probably be a rocket jump sub mode, we'd call it, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty much. There's a cat hair in my sensor. Love that. Yeah, for the most part, game modes are just kind of like unique, unique things, because like if you ever mix 2 movements together, that's like it could become its own mode as well. But yeah, it will be. I mean, they're all kind of classified as a game mode, like including all of the sub modes of defrag.
Yeah. So, we kind of.
Yeah, but they're like visually they are under us, like they're a sub mode of. So it'd be a sub mode of RJ.
Yeah.
So like in our map selector or whatever, right? Whenever we get the gameplay or game mode selection, you'll see it under the RJ one. But it is its own.
And that's one of the big reasons why game modes, leaderboards can have multiple game modes now. Oh, sorry, well, maps can have leaderboards with different game modes. So like you can have a surf map that you can also play in rocket jump even, and which is a rare city one, like Utopia, like I said before. Like that works great for CPM, VQ3, defrag, all the 3 defrag modes. Like most defrag maps are going to have leaderboards in all of those modes, and they can be tiered different and stuff like that potentially. So we've kind of got systems that allow for new modes to be added really easily. It is just a case of like, are they worth adding? And of new game modes to add after 010, or after 1.0, I guess, there's just not that much there. The one, I guess, TrickSurf is a funny case actually, because TrickSurf will be much harder to add, because TrickSurf is going to have a bunch of new backend code. It's going to need a bunch of new game code, because it really works quite fundamentally differently from the other modes. Like how the time is going to work, how the zones work, how run submission works. So that's TrickSurf will be a really big, difficult thing.
Yeah. Well, that answers that question. Do we want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, on eval.
Yep.
Tab keyboard navigation.
Yeah, royex asks, is it going to be tab/keyboard navigation and momentum?
What does that mean?
Just using arrow keys.
You don't have to use a mouse to click the buttons. You can just tab through the menus and press enter.
Pano has it, but I don't know.
I've never tried it.
There's a lot of buttons. Yeah. I don't know how you'd have it navigate.
Like that's
if you play this game without a mouse, you're playing it wrong anyway. So I don't really see the point.
Yeah, I want to be able to do macros for the momentum UI. I want to be able to I want Vim LSPs in momentum. No, but it's just. I'll basically admit to this. When I design UI and including web stuff, and this is really pretty bad with web stuff, is I'm often not putting that much work into accessibility.
It's hard to. I mean, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's some stuff we could just be doing better, but I mean, for instance, the dashboard site, for instance, doesn't even have mobile styling, really, because
Yeah.
it takes loads of time, and it's just not something that I have, like I had the time to do when I've been doing the new stuffy stuff. Do we have a date for a 10? No. We won't have a date for a 10 until like super soon. I mean, we're getting close, but yeah.
Probably a couple months before we have a date. Because we're finishing Rio's multiplayer stuff. We're finishing some miscellaneous stuff with map submission. The zoning menu, which we showed off earlier in the stream, has quite a bit of work still left in it. We do actually want to create a highlight video that goes along with the actual release, and that's going to take time. There's a lot of polishing. We do want to hook all of this up together and just make sure everything works. There's a lot of work around, because it's a public release, we're going to make sure that like defaults make sense for new players that are going to be booting up the game for the first time, like volume not being 1.0, things like that, where there's a lot of just like miscellaneous work that'll add up, but we got to get to the point where our core stuff is done, and that is, I'd say, a couple months out, our core stuff being out. But again, the way that this project works, we cannot set a date until we absolutely know it. Any time that I've set a date, we don't hit it because of just people having a life. If I had employees, if I was a manager of a studio, that would be a different situation. But because it's everybody just volunteering in their free time, I can't make any guarantees. From what I see, work-wise, if everyone just continues the pace that they're on, a couple months out, that's probably all of our core systems, and then we just do maybe another month for like, yeah, so like it'll be this year. We want to get O10O out this year because of just like, otherwise we're going to be burnt out. But for the most part, like, we can't set a date until we get to that point where the game code is like pretty much solid. Like it's just, we're ready and we're prepping for the release so we can set a date and comfortably hit it.
Yeah, I do think with O10 we don't need to be absolute perfectionists about stuff. Like, it's going to release and it's going to be buggy, and we're going to make it clear to people that it's not full release.
And there's no
loads and loads of new people coming in the game, and we will do some really big ugly pop-ups saying the game's not done, this is not full release. Like, the things like defaults and stuff being better. I think, yeah, I mean, if we take some time to look at them, great. But I don't think like I don't think we should block O10 stuff with polish that much. Like, they're being what we've been wanting to do is get more people over to the O10O pre-branch in like the next month or so.
Yeah.
And with map porting stuff getting pretty close to done, we can start getting more people over and getting more maps ported. Once we've got, like, there's a handful of really big, outstanding, annoying bugs at the moment. Some of which I need to work on, some of which P needs to work on. There's this Pano module loading stuff that's a bastard. Bits of UI things, but like, it's not there's not I'm not saying it's going to be sooner than a couple of months, but I'm also a bit wary of saying like it's
O10O is not a couple months out. Yeah, also Walter is very excited for O10O.
O10O is not a couple of months out.
His head poking around the corner.
He's on the dresser right now. I think he's like, hey, there's a bag up here and I kind of want to go into it. It's my workout bag. It's all stinky, so he probably just really wants to go into it. Yeah, he does. Anyway, O10O itself, like the actual release, is not a couple months out. Like O10O, no? I'd say like game code, I'd expect to be a couple months out. Like the game being ready that where we can start to do like finalized docs and everything, and like
right, but okay, but things like changelog we should be doing already. Like, we really don't have any excuse for not doing changelog stuff right now. And I think you and Traz were talking about starting to do some video stuff soon.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
A lot of that stuff does not need to wait for all of that game stuff needs to be finalized, and we should be just doing more of soon. If I had more time, I'd be starting to do more of that, but I have too much other O10 stuff
yeah,
on.
You have your priorities there.
But like,
this is more of a me thing, and yeah, absolutely.
So I think like the main thing of big technical game things right now is the ongoing multiplayer work that Rio's doing. Where I lose track. I think we're on Mom TV multiplayer 4, the fourth pull request.
Was it?
Well, I think he's saying he's planning on doing about 8. And I think some of that code is written already, and he has a very clear idea of what he is changing. but there's still a good chunk of that. And Rhea's been doing that multiplayer stuff since roughly the start of this year.
Yeah.
So I think he took a little bit of time to get straight into it. So it'll be interesting. You know, hopefully we have multiplayer stuff kind of coming to a close. Hopefully the next month or so, and then I don't know. Like with porting, like if porting stuff's pretty finalized, like I'm not trying to be kind of over optimistic here, but I don't think there's like necessarily a vast amount left. Also, we really should just be doing the changelog and video stuff because
we will.
If we have stuff like actually in a finished state and we're like, oh, now we have to do a bunch of media stuff that we've just been pulling our thumbs and not doing it.
No, it shouldn't get to that point. I'm just saying that like the game code is the dictator here. Like it will be once that's ready, because we're not going to ship out the game before like we're happy with like how it plays. Like if there's a glaring issue, I do not want to. I'm going to prevent 0.10.0 coming out. If there's a glaring crash or issue on speccing or whatever, like a basic fucking thing, right?
Yeah. So right, but we're not. There's definitely some issues. I would say most of Rio's stuff, which has been the kind of most of the biggest kind of refactors, most of it's feeling pretty stable.
Yeah.
In terms of timers, zones, run submission.
Yeah.
Most of it's pretty well. Some of the annoying stuff with run submission, my stuff. And like. Yeah, I guess like I think in like the next month, once we start getting to the point where the game code is actually pretty close to being complete and we are working on polish and final bugs and stuff, like we then have the doc stuff, changelog stuff to do, and then production server hosting stuff. Like that's something where once I get the time for it, like I would if it's the two of us, will probably end up just going ham and doing it fast.
Exactly.
But it shouldn't take us too long.
And it's all Dockerized. We're already basically doing it with staging. It's just a matter of
formalizing there's not that much.
I mean, metrics, we still have to kind of... Because I do want to have metrics for 10, but,
What's like live metrics, or...
No, the, like... sorry, for the server. For that, like... Just making sure
no, we have some of the basics of that. Like, we don't need any, like, really fancy control panels or whatever. The current net data is a bit crap, to be honest. But,
we'll probably move off of net data, but yeah.
But I don't think, like, this... I mean, of fraud stuff, I'm a little wary of just getting other major bugs. But stuff's been pretty stable besides that one insane issue we had with the health check that was destroying everything. Where we had a Docker container health check that's using Wuget that was like imploding the machine it was running on because for some reason it just did an exit at the end. And we thought it was a node issue, and it turns out no, it's just the Docker container is shitting itself. And that's the case where some better metrics maybe could have helped us actually, though. I think we probably had those and just didn't realize. Anyway, I don't know, like 0.10, we're not gonna be. This time, I would say about 2-3 months ago, in kind of early mid-December, maybe. We were feeling like we were getting really pretty close, and then Rio started saying that. We decided basically that we were going to make sure we did get the multiplayer stuff done. That we weren't willing to ship 0.10 without working multiplayer.
Yeah. Which
we really couldn't have done very well, or like without doing some very, very annoying hacks. It would have taken quite a little time to get working, and then we immediately gotten rid of after we release 0.10 and then do the multiplayer stuff that Rio's currently doing. So I kind of despaired over it. I think quite a few of us did because I'm very, very burnt out from 0.10 and want it out as soon as possible. But like once we decided we were going to do the multiplayer stuff, that definitely was like the last big technical thing that we're going to do. So, like once that stuff is mostly in, like I would say we're not going to have a release date, or maybe we have some stuff internally, but we're not going to start talking about it publicly. But we will at least be kind of not having any big mountainous tasks ahead of us. It'll just be lots of little small things.
Yeah.
And how long those small things take is kind of hard to say, but I would really hope that it ends up A, just not being that much we have to do, and B, we don't need to polish that much. Especially given with a lot of pano work, we know we want to do a lot of pano improvements after 0.10 anyway, because we want to spend the time getting the styling stuff right and doing the sRGB shader and all that stuff. So like, yeah, We don't have a date, but we're close to having a date. I don't know. I'm rambling, but it's getting there.
This wasn't even a slide question, so maybe we should move on.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Moving on to the next.
I've got a question from Synthetic Earworm, who asks, will there be restrictions on key bindings at the mode level? Example, auto-strafe, single key with plus left and plus move left is fine in surf, but not in bhop.
The rule has generally been no wait command. And
yeah, no wait command.
Thingy thing. If you're doing something like binding one key to the two different inputs, I think we've said we were fine with. I know we discussed this quite recently on a Q&A, and I forget exactly what we actually ended up saying. Because there's been a little bit of like internal talk about this, I think.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, there was talks about like, what was it? The not ducking. It's for RJ. CTAP, that's it. The CTAP script.
Oh, right. Which
and
doesn't need a wait command. And were people saying that they didn't want it, or they thought it was too strong? Or...
People were saying it's lame, but at the same time, it saves your hand from
yeah.
immense pain after playing for.
And I think
yeah,
our
CTAPing's horrible.
Our response to that was we wanted to have scripts like that just be a feature of the game, just like how nulls are. So yeah, like it's the main thing is right. We don't want the main thing. Yeah, like the main thing we don't want is for people to use external scripts or programs to play the game for you, right? If you are basically not doing like the inputs required to play the game, I mean, I know that a bind could easily kind of start to blur this line, but it just depends on how powerful the bind is, right? Like that's the main thing. We don't.
Yeah, I don't see how a plus left and plus move left really does much.
Doesn't seem massively helpful. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because it's all about timing, and so like if you have an external
like
program that does things, that's where we kind of draw the line. Because we don't want we want everybody to have the same level playing field, especially because we're a competitive game. I have no idea how to do this jump. I have been failing it for a while here. But yeah, I like multiple keybinds per bind is okay. I believe that's where we set on, especially if it doesn't require any weight. If you're just full on scripting your movement, that is not allowed. Like if you were making something that does the inputs for you over a set time and like no.
Right, but those would have to be done with external tools anyway, and that would be a bannable thing. That would be a permaban if you were doing that.
That would be detected cheats in your band. So multiple binds is very like case by case, I guess. It just depends on how powerful it is, and if.
No, that's the thing is we kind of don't want it to be case by case, right? Like if you do start, it becomes very awkward to try to kind of legislate over like should you allow some specific bind combination or not, whether as opposed to like, I mean, if we wanted to make it so you couldn't do two inputs like that with the same command, I think we could at an engine level potentially, but like I don't think we'd want to. What we really don't want is to have these kind of weird like vague rules on what isn't allowed, right? That then quickly turns into, you know, someone doing something not allowed getting detected and being like, oh, I didn't know, I thought this was fine. Like having some like solid rules there would be really helpful. And with nulls, I think that's been really good, right? Where we've just been like, nulls are okay and they're built into the game.
Yeah.
And some people will complain about that, especially KZers, but I've still yet to hear a good argument for how you avoid that, or how you end up with, because it's something that is so, you can do it with keyboards, you can have specific keyboards that can do it for you.
Yeah.
Like, we saw Valve try to do it in CS2, and seemed like make a cock-up of it. I'm not really sure where that's at now.
Yeah, I haven't caught up with that. Is it still good or bad? Does anybody know?
But you're always going to end up with a situation where you're having to do some kind of statistical argument based on whether you think someone's nulling or not, based on like how, like, okay, if someone's nulling 100% of the time, right? They're doing perfect like null-based strafes,
yeah.
like 100% of the time, yes, we can potentially detect that, right? I'm not going to go into loads into detection stuff and all that, but like that stuff we can potentially do. But that doesn't stop someone that then, someone who does want to try to do that and cheat using an external tool, just from having it do that thing slightly inconsistently. Once you do that, then you have to start saying, well, what is the threshold for what we think is like legit or not? And do you vary that threshold based on like how good you think that player is?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be messy, and you're bound to get false positives. And it then becomes like, especially if you are in a situation like you have to kind of judge whether you think they're doing that based on their relative skill level. That seems potentially really abusable, or like we could be getting that really wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, if people had a good way to say this is how you stop nulls and these are how you avoid those issues, fine, tell us. But from what I've heard from people is people kind of complain about it, but then don't actually give a substantial kind of explanation of how you do that stuff. And I think in those cases it is just better to just allow nulls, even if it does make KZ worse for some people, arguably. But
yeah.
also there are definitely KZ people that are fine with it, and this was something when we brought Gamecast on, we spoke about nulls quite a bit, because we weren't planning on doing climb until then, and the null rule was decided based on surf and bhop. But like, so I think like the current state of rules being kind of like, basically, if you can do it, fine. Like, if it works in game, you can do it. If there's something that we do feel is too powerful, we might try to do some specific nerfs for it in game code. But like, if we can avoid doing rulings based on specific scripts, like, that still are possible to use, like, that feels like we're kind of screwing something up, right? Because why can't we just be changing game code in a way that doesn't allow for it, make it work? Or if you case nulls, or you can't do that in a very consistent way, then it just doesn't. You just have to bite the bullet and say, okay, this isn't possible.
I mean, the reason I said that is because if it turns into another nulls case of like, hey, this is something that should just be in the game, then case by case we just see, and then this is too powerful.
And something like the CTERT script. I mean,
because if it's too powerful, if it's a really powerful game-breaking thing, we're like gonna probably fix that, right? Like,
right. We wouldn't leave that in and then just say the script's banned.
Yeah. But then, so that is case by case, like inherently, then, right? Like, so I don't know, like, because that versus plus left plus move left, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying that I'm not. I was talking about like, we don't want to do case by case in the sense that we're ruling on some specific scripts that are allowed or not, whilst case by case would be what scripts we choose to make usable in Momentum.
Yeah, no, yeah. I meant, more like, just, how we... Okay, no, we're on the same page. Okay. And then it looks like, Valve got null detection wrong and banned people.
Have they kept it? Did they get rid of it?
Yeah, what happened?
They've just set an arbitrary threshold, I'm pretty sure, of like, if you hit more than 2 in a row, you get banned.
Hell yeah.
Really? That's really funny. Is it gonna be possible to ban people? Yeah, we can. It's obviously easier. That being said, like, it's kind of the same thing with CS2. The one thing is, like, we do the same thing that Counter-Strike does, is you need to have a paid Steam account, I think, to like play. I think in CS you have to like have a paid Steam account to play with other people that have a paid Steam account or something. For us, like, the straight up, we won't create a user for you if you don't have a paid Steam account.
Yeah, you have
like, if you try to play the game, you just won't. We're not going to make you a user account. You don't exist on our systems until it's paid.
God damn.
So you have to spend $5 on Steam. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's maybe somewhat restrictive, but there really aren't going to be that many people with legit reasons that don't have $5 spent on Steam at all.
Yeah. And what's nice is you can still play. You just can't submit anything. Like, we just won't create a user. Yeah. Like, you can still,
yeah, so I guess, the map downloads should work, I think.
Yeah, because they're public now, aren't they? Leaderboards.
Right, no, but game code won't do it. Game code will, if it can't authenticate you and doesn't have a JWT, it won't try and make requests.
That's something we'll change, but yeah.
Yeah, we could do that,
I mean,
we actually there's quite a bit in
that
that logic we could improve as well.
Yeah, we need to just do better connection handling around, like, if you're connected to our server and like letting you know when you aren't. Like, there's a lot more UX there.
Well, to be honest, the more time I spend with it, the more I legitimately want to move all that stuff to WebSockets.
Yeah.
Because it's not even that hard. It's just better.
Yeah.
WebSockets are like a WebSocket wrap around like current HTTP stuff. Well, it's not. I mean, those functions aren't really that HTTP specific even. I guess they are to some extent, but yeah, like it's a bunch of back-end refactoring, but quite simple refactoring potentially. That would just be WebSocket based stuff, and that lets you tell people if they time out and stuff really well, right? Because
sticky jump hard. Anyway, yeah, we answered this question, so we'll move on to the next.
I was really excited for the. I was hoping this would be a really good next question.
No, we've answered this question a bunch, so we'll keep it short. But Piku asks, will it have support for workshop maps?
No.
No. Staging.mmod.org. Go on that. Look at the beta maps thing. It's really cool. This you have to log in to see this, but like that.
Yeah.
The workshop is there's too much about workshop that's not in our control and really messy, and we care about persistent leaderboards and we don't want people randomly deleting workshop submissions or whatever. It would just be a glorified CDN for us, and well, CDN costs will cost us quite a bit. It's not that much on R2, hopefully. So.
Yeah.
We have better version of workshop.
That's
the whole thing is, if you want to get your map in the game, you can. That will be a thing. That being said, for those maps to get in, like the standards are higher than workshop would let us do. Right? Do game players implement KCT? No.
It's in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works right now.
But yeah, nothing in game yet. Okay, next question.
Yeah, next one.
Osac asks, does the recent Source SDK update have any impact on mmod's development?
I'll take this one. No. If we were still before, if we were still unlicensed, yes, because then we could actually like legally add, or not legally, but like confirm that our rocket jump and sticky jump implementations were perfect, because that's the only thing that we.
That's pretty much it, though.
And trigger catapult maybe. But no, we've had Team Fortress. We've had even more source code than was released, and via our engine license. So it has not impacted the engine license agreement that we got with Valve, where we have full engine source code, but we have to release the game for free and can only do closed source engine development because obviously it's Valve's code.
This is not the engine being open source, right? Like this is.
Yeah.
This is TF2's game code.
Correct.
Which is cool that they did it.
Yes.
But it's not that significant in a way. Like, it's great for the TF2 mod projects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they've been really fucked over by Valve, and I'm really impressed that Valve have actually taken the time to do it. But I think it was
2 years, but yeah, we're finally there.
Yeah, right. And I think this was just Measle.
Yeah, Measle, yep.
Already a friend of the show anyway.
Yes.
Who's great.
Very, very awesome.
But like, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how many other people at Valve. I'm sure other people had like a say in it, but
legal.
Like, yeah, and I mean it is like the right way to treat TF2 with the stuff. I mean, I still think the fact they're making money from the items and stuff on it. When I guess now the bot problem's been fixed, maybe it's okay. But it's just for us. We had all this stuff already, and we have way more shit than like. Especially because game code stuff, besides doing the like rocket jump and sticky jump implementations, like that's not super helpful to us. The stuff that's really nice to have that we have from our licenses, Panorama, and a bunch of more modern Source stuff. Lots of stuff that's backported from Source 2, basically.
Yep.
By more recent Valve people that were tired of Source 1 shit.
New renderer, the X11 that Slidey worked on.
Oh yeah, and then our stuff on top of it. Yeah.
Hammer,
but the
source
stuff we got
code.
from Valve. Yeah.
If they released Hammer with this,
Hammer would be amazing. Yeah.
That would be incredible, and we could open source ours, and that would be amazing to have our Hammer open source.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you can
Yeah,
just
especially with
double
all
to
the
the end of
QT work
that?
and stuff.
God damn it.
Yeah, you can really choose it.
Whatever.
I mean, it's just yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much is in that code base. It's that interesting in a way. Besides, like, I don't know, because it is just
VScripts.
There is
also
VScript is open
they
source
had
now.
Nextbot.
I guess. Yeah.
I think Nextbot from the
Oh
Left 4
yeah,
Dead
they did it.
branch.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
really.
quite
I just saw it. You can't see the diff because it's just one giant fucking push. They did remove all of the old code, which is interesting. So you can't really diff it against like what functions were fixed or what.
Is there any like what's it called? Like there's the server, the matchmaker stuff.
There's econ stuff, read-only econ stuff for reading TF2 backpack stuff.
Yeah. Oh right,
which
that
is
makes
neat.
sense, yeah.
I mean, we're gonna be doing the
We
same
have way
thing.
more than that, right?
Yeah,
we
we could host our own backpack server if we wanted to, but not TF2. TF2 uses a like separate thing. They removed that.
Yeah, Hammer uses leaks. And it's really annoying that we can't open source our Hammer because it would be a great project for people to come out and help with. A lot of the Qt porting stuff is just really monotonous, but quite a good learning experience.
Yeah. Note about Hammer++, Ficool is actually licensed. They do have access to license code. So I believe Hammer++ development now is perfectly fine. But yeah,
I guess that's true. Yeah, so I'm not sure Ficool has a license to publish it as that thing.
True. That is what we were. I mean, it's funny because that's what I wanted to ask Valve about if they were open to open sourcing more. Is like we would love to open source our Hammer as like
This is the thing that's so frustrating with Strata. Strata has a lot of stuff on it that's really, really nice.
Yeah.
In terms of kind of new stuff, some of which is Valve and some of which is ours. There's stuff like, for instance, we do a lot of JSON handling stuff at the moment, and we've set it up in a really, really nice way where that's using a bunch of existing Valve stuff and then a bunch of Rio work on top of that, and we now have really just nice ways of doing JSON serialization and deserialization, which when you do a lot of web stuff is just so helpful.
Yeah.
So, doing the lump of WebSocket stuff, I just grab that because we just use it regularly and it's easy. They have their own buggy smart pointers and stuff, and like nice thing. I maybe I should. Anyway, like it'll be so great to get the Strata stuff out because it is loads of really big quality of nice life improvements and cleanliness things on top of Source, but it's probably never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
well, never say never. If Usul was able to release something, I'm sure they'd be open to.
Yeah, I just think the whole engine is like,
because
maybe.
I mean, Source 1 with TF2 source code out, TF2 server client code out there. It's getting more towards Source 1 being pretty much confirmed dead. But like, I don't know. I mean, like that's the thing is like if we could replace. I mean, we still require vphysics. Which is Havoc, which is the whole can of worms, but we got Havoc source code for free via Microsoft and Valve partnership. I don't know. Anyway, they gave us it, so we have that. The only thing we don't have the source to is like a library, video library that
that thing.
Panorama uses, and I think we're rewriting it anyway and using.
That's the one thing that like I don't think would mean Strata could ever be open is Pano. I don't think Valve would want Pano opened up. Because that's like Source 2 shit that they backported, and
Bic, it loads Bic and stuff. There's also, I mean, there's rad game tools stuff. There's like the debugging and stuff, but we don't use that directly. We use something called Tracy for performance evaluation. So
Tracy's nice.
Yeah,
Tracy's really nice.
But yeah, I mean, the main thing is just like there's a lot that an open source code base helps with, but I mean, it would definitely burn out. I mean, I know that Oski and JJ would love to have stuff be open source too, but like it would definitely burn us out if we had to maintain like an open source repository. And
especially because there's like so many Source weirdos out there. Like I don't want people reviewing random shit from some Source nerd dipshit.
Half-Life 3 Episode 3.
Yeah, right. Like there's.
Yeah. Anyway, but
yeah, it just doesn't. In terms of has it affected us? No, not at all. Like,
very
I don't
cool.
honestly.
Very cool. I think. But other than that,
I kind of it's been a bit weird, kind of not caring that much, but kind of watching it from the side a bit and kind of reading like, there's a Hacker News thread on it with like 2,000 comments or something, and quite interesting reading because a lot of the comments were just completely wrong. Just about the whole situation with different licensing and like there's just, but like I also just don't really care. It just doesn't really matter that much. But
yeah, so thank you for this question. Looking forward to getting momentum out with the latest strata stuff, and yeah, just keep an eye out for that, because even with the latest like code, you still have to use the SDK for everything, which we ran into so many limitations with. So good luck, TF2 mods, but yeah, it does not affect us.
All right. Can I just get to Lody's question real quick before we move on? It's interesting. Do you think closed sourcing has impacted the inertia of development compared to having random people make entire game mode ready to go? I want to talk about this just because we don't need that. We don't need new people making just a new game mode. We need people that are going to spend loads of time on the big hard things.
Yeah.
And the less fun things. That's the thing that Momentum desperately needs.
One of our biggest things was open source, right? The website, and like 2 people volunteered to work on it. Pretty much.
Yeah, we don't get like we actually got a really active. I think he was in chat before. Thingy thing. Forgot your name. We had a new web person doing stuff recently, which was really cool. But like, we do not get that many contributors to our web stuff, which is like open source and it's quite accessible, like TypeScript stuff. Like it's like the people we need for that project and for this project are not the people doing small contributions, one-off things. Oh, yikes! Yeah, like it's the people that spend time getting to grips with stuff and then contribute a lot. And I guess you could say that like having closed source means it's harder to find new people to do that. But it's still just not the case of like having more like arms isn't necessarily helpful. Like a lot of it's about people that are really motivated and kind of skilled and ready to do stuff, as opposed to just lots of new people.
Yeah.
We had a guy kind of join our Discord the other day, who's kind of asking about like, why can't you just do like asking kind of quite naive question and then kind of like not seeming that interest in like the really hard stuff. Like it's the stuff like what Rhea's been doing and the boring shit that like me, Panzer, and Alice have been doing lately. It's like that stuff is that's the stuff we need, not kind of.
Oh, whoops.
I don't know what I was saying. Yeah.
No, there's definitely a way that you could view like, oh, it's open source, it'll come out faster or whatever. Like, the main thing has been motivation and just overall dedication to the project. It's easier for people to come and go on open source when something's more established. Finding bugs or smaller things to do. I mean, that's also part of my job, is to find tickets that are easy for people to check out and do. As a first time person like working on something.
But I find that honestly it's really time consuming doing that. Yeah. I do that a lot with web, and it's like I'll still put the time in, and ideally then we get people that do that work and then keep contributing, and therefore end up being really helpful, and it's kind of worth the time in that sense. But a lot of it is trying to pick out stuff for new people, doing a lot of review for it, and then they don't contribute that much anyway. And it's honestly kind of wasting my time. But like, sorry, I'm talking about myself from first person, but just because this is very much a website thing. That's because most of our devs are not doing that much open source stuff. But besides Gordy as well. But sorry, there was the thing Lodi said about like.
Sync the beeps.
I sync the beeps. Easy.
The people, like you said, Lodi, like the people that are most likely to be helpful, will go further to get involved with stuff. And if someone wants to start doing game code dev and is really keen, like that person is likely going to be willing to work on some other projects, even if it is in a different language and stuff like that. And then we'll license them because they've done that work, right? And that's been the case with most of the new people we brought on. For instance, like Panzer has been doing tooling stuff in C# for BSP convert and stuff. Pinscrew Ellis was doing lots of Pano stuff Pano JavaScript, TypeScript stuff. We then fully licensed, and now Pin's doing. I guess a lot of Pin stuff lately has been Pano stuff, but he does other things as well. Like so much of development on a project like this is not to be kind of mean to the lesser contributors, but it really is the people that are doing large frequent contributions that make up like 90%, 95% of the way. But even before Momentum went closed source, I think that was the case, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't around as much then, but like
it's
it's the people that really put a lot of time into really getting up to speed with stuff and take a lot of initiative for themselves. Those are the people that are most valuable by far. And that's not to say that we're not like happy to have smaller contributions, or just be really clear, not that we're like angry at people that have not contributed enough or something like that. That's absolutely not the case. It's very much like most people don't have the capacity to do loads and loads of momentum work. But it is just the reality of development stuff like this. It's like,
yeah, I mean, having gone through our open source aspects, right? Like it is just a matter of finding motivated people that kind of gel with the reason why you're making the project and everything, right? Like, and yeah, I guess you said it right with like the most valuable people that can contribute are the ones that, like, especially for Source or like C++, like I feel so bad getting DMs from like, oh, hey, I know C++, or like, you know, I just graduated or something and I'd love to help out. But it's like, if you haven't even touched Source Engine at all, like it's the ramp up speed for that, like it's just not worth it. If you were someone like, oh my god, I'm a licensed dev, or like you know, have spent years of my life working on Source, that's a little more valuable for us because it's it shows like you know what you're doing, and like we could bring you on and then give you tasks to do and you would be okay. There's something true about having to unfortunately babysit people to, and not that we don't want to, it's just that to have to repeatedly do it to somebody that then will never do anything else. It's just not, it's a waste of time at that point. It's like this smaller thing that, yes, while we did have external help doing it, that person did it, probably just used it as a resume thing and fucked off, or just didn't care to continue. Like it turns into this like, what was the point of us like, you know, spending a ton of time teaching?
I think it's still worth putting the time in because some of those people stick around.
Yes.
You know, with Gordy, for instance, with web, like Gordy's been so helpful lately.
Yeah.
And it's like, I really, like when I do other time, I will happily sit down like in a voice call with a new web person, just go through stuff for an hour and like just spend some time. And I like talking to them about stuff and like actually getting to know what they're interested in, and like not treating them as just someone to, you know, get some work out or whatever. Like you know, there should be like a human aspect to it, and it can be, I enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
But it is still the harsh reality of it that most people, of those people, do not end up being very beneficial to a project. In fact, in a way, they're kind of a net negative for the time lost. Not really, but like, and I don't think we need to think about it in quite such a cynical way. But like,
right, yeah. It's really dehumanizing to think about it like that. But like, having gone through it is the main thing that like I went through it, right? Because we were open source game dev, and it was just sometimes me opening a PR for historical reasons and just merging it in because nobody else would be around to be able to review it, or like it. Yeah, it's a very motivation heavy project that I'm very happy that we have people that can come in and help out. And again, I am doing at least my best to categorize issues as like, hey, this is a great first issue for someone that's actually serious to jump in, tackle it, get a taste of what they'd be jumping into. And then with it being, you know, small enough or like so easy enough that like if that's all they did, whatever, right? It was a small thing. Like that's, you know, that's worthwhile. But when it comes to the game code, we're at the point now where you need to know Source. You need to know Source in order to be able to work with us. We don't need to necessarily. But okay, I mean, in your aspect, it was you were so interested in.
I managed to keep to like mostly specific niches,
but also,
and so
I did qualify.
I can't do like
multiplayer. We're at the point
whatsoever.
now. When you were joining, we were kind of still more like. Okay, we need, you know, more dedicated people for specific aspects, but yeah.
Sure. But also, I guess as we've evolved and strata, like a lot of the stuff I work on is a lot more modern. Yeah. We use smart pointers a little bit.
Yeah.
Like util own pointer and or, you know, it's a kind of superficial example in a way, but like it does.
It's new.
You know,
it's
the JSON stuff I was talking about
code,
are like
But it's for systems that it's just like you gotta know where to go and ask.
But like I don't. A lot of like older source stuff, you know, game events, for instance. Like I do not. I mean, game events aren't that hard. And I've done them a little bit, but like, okay, I wrote my first ever trace the other day, and as we saw earlier, it's broken. But like, seriously, like this, you know, I'm like not a game developer. And genuinely had not written a trace before, which is like bread and butter game development stuff, right?
Yeah.
A trace is a line you fire, it's a ray you cast that hits something. It's line of sight, right? Sorry, it's not necessarily like what you're looking at, but it's like finding stuff in the world, right? And all game engines have ways of doing it, and they're very important. And I had never done one before. But like, I don't know, a lot of it is just about like, I think if I was getting into Source doing this work like 3 years ago, even if I'd not done that much C++ in the last 3 years until I started doing the kind of Source game stuff or whatever, like, just the fact I've got a lot more programming experience in general made it just way harder, way easier to pick up. And I guess with Momentum, like, to some extent, it can be a really good project for learning programming. I've become a far better programmer from doing Momentum stuff. But like, from a development point of view, unless you're going to put a really large amount of time into it, and not to toot my own horn, but I put a lot of time into Momentum stuff, like, you can require too much babysitting, like, and it can be pretty draining for other people. I would like to think I was quite good as a dev of, like, you know, being able to kind of learn stuff quietly myself. But
the nice part of open source is that it constantly advertises or is there as a proving grounds for people that would, like, otherwise, you know, that would be able to show that they're able to contribute. And that was the nice part about Momentum being open source, like game code wise, I guess. But yeah, it's just like nowadays it's like for game code we specifically need people that are knowledgeable or motivated enough about Source. And it's so hard to just, like, we also have, like, you have to be NDA'd, right? Like, there's a whole process now of getting you to actually contribute to the game code. So it has to be worthwhile. Like, it has to be, like, you are super serious about this. We've already had to reduce one licensee that we brought on because they just joined, didn't do anything, didn't join the meetings. And we had to tell Valve, like, hey, listen, this guy is, like, NDA because he's no longer involved. And, like,
I mean, it's nice that, like, basically everyone else I think everyone else we've licensed has been pretty good.
Yes, yeah,
but like
exactly.
but it's still like,
not to make an example or anything.
It puts a pressure on us to need stuff from those people, and that's a really annoying pressure to have. Like, we don't want to force people to do work. At the same time, the NDA situation does mean that if we do bring you on and you don't do anything, you are actively harming the project. In a slightly kind of vague way, and like, we don't actually have a specific number of people we can license from Valve, but like, if we started trying to license loads and loads of people, they'd say no. I'm sure they would. So like, how many people we can bring on is going to be lowered, maybe not literally by one, but to some extent by someone who we bring on and never does anything.
It's why, like, whenever we get people that are like, oh, I'm interested, like, we point them towards the current open source stuff. I mean, for the like majority of it, we really want to make sure they're comfortable, and we will, like, help out. It's not a matter of, like, not helping out. It's just like, this is really like a test to see what kind of developer and teammate you would be before we could bring you on. And so, like, that would be the starting point, I guess.
And a lot of it is that. It's about just working well collaboratively. It's not so much about just program, like, raw C++ experience.
Yeah.
Like, you know, who cares, like, how good you are at, I don't know, what's a hard C++ thing? Dynamic dispatch. I don't know. Like, the
difference between shared and unique pointer, etc. Yeah.
Those are easy. Those shares, ref counted, unique it's a singular movable thing. Easy. Yeah. But like, the printing text.
Printing text.
Good one, Lodi. Yeah. Of course, yeah, the correct way to print text is to operator overload the bit shift operators, because, I don't know, Bjarne was smoking something.
Bit shift a string.
I always loved it about C++. So, like, the C++ Hello World, like, quintessential program has operator overloaded bit shifts in it. It's so batshit insane. But anyway, yeah.
But that
we did get a bit derailed.
Yeah, a bit of a derailment, but Yes. Having an open source momentum, I guess, worked to find a dedicated team, and then now that we have more conditions around who can work on it, it's now a good test to see like people's tenacity towards helping out. And that could lead to more, but it does unfortunately lock the development to the developers that already have access, because it's not easy for us to bring on people and NDA them. It's a whole process.
We can though.
We can, but it's a
Stingy's
whole process
responding to
that
emails
it's
lately.
higher. Yeah, that's true. They are around. But yeah, so it's just more. It's more involved. So it's riskier for us in a sense too, because we don't want to have to pester Valve more than we need to, because they're. Yeah.
I mean, people are listening to this and do genuinely want to get involved. Like, don't feel like we're not. We can bring more people on potentially. It's just we would expect some work in other projects first, and we just want to get to know you a bit first, basically.
Yeah, but we can jump, because this kind of correlates to Pip3's question. If we want to move to that one.
Oh, okay.
Similar vein as the last one. Pip3 asks, will this mean that there might be more community projects considering the option of working with /on Strata source? So the SDK is not full source code, which you mentioned earlier. So
correct.
Strata is still closed source, and
Yes.
you will need to get an engine license to work with it.
Yes.
So maybe it's a good way of putting it. So what has happened is, previously, Momentum was built off of the Source SDK, right? The 2013, right? I think release.
Yes, 2013.
Which is software development kit, which is stuff you need to make a game. It does not include the engine code, which is lots of rendering stuff, the kind of base gamey stuff, and lots of stuff within there, and like how a trace, something like that, is implemented in engine code, right? Stuff like that. If you can make a game without having all the engine stuff, which is using the pre-built engine binaries and not having the source code to the engine stuff, where you'll have headers and stuff for engine functions, but not the source. You can't change them. Though we had some like crazy hacks and shit before going closed source.
We would hook into the engine to change like tick rate and stuff. It was really annoying.
Yeah. So we were on that version, and that was 2013, which had stuff in. Valve have now updated Source SDK 2013. Sorry, updated the Source SDK to include TF2's game code, or is it a separate thing? Or I should know this.
It is. Yeah, I think everything but Counter-Strike Source's code. So it's Half-Life 2, and Portal, I guess, not Portal.
Okay.
So yeah, it's TF2's. It's like the latest SDK 2013 code with TF2 code as well.
So it's really cool they did that, and for TF2 mods and stuff, it's great. And given that Valve don't want to keep maintaining TF2, great. But that's still just SDK stuff. With Momentum, after we started on the SDK, then went to full engine, right? So we have access to the full engine repo. We have access to every source game, I think, including relatively up-to-date CS:GO, including Panorama, and that's like more. We have more games, and we have way more. We have all of engine stuff and Panorama, it is like a completely different ballpark of what we have access to and as to other stuff. I mean, I don't sound like boasting or something, but like it is.
It is.
We're really lucky to have it. It's sick that we have it, and like it is. If you look at stuff like the map size increase, stuff like that, that's something that like is a fundamental engine change, right?
Yeah.
Just loads of stuff we do that like affects like momentum stuff of like the zoning system, replay stuff like that. These are really. There's lots of important engine things in there. Like it really could not exist without the engine code. Like it's also just very helpful to have access to. And there's been a lot of optimization stuff we know that made it, and like it's yeah. So there's just it could maybe mean there's more. If it's a bit better for Source 1 modding stuff, maybe that means Valve consider doing licenses for more of those Source 1 projects. So
maybe.
Valve are fickle, and it's hard to know, but like they don't seem to relish doing this stuff, licensing stuff.
Yeah, licensing stuff's been pretty dry for a while. Even after we got it, it was like kind of a miracle, and then just I don't know. I think So working on Strata Source, like if you want like a game to be built on Strata, you would have to be licensed. But working with Strata Source, I think P2CE, right? If you're gonna make a Portal 2 mod, that'll be your
but that's working with a Strata Source game, not like the project itself. And Strata just is not available. Like, we're never doing... Well, okay. We have no plans on doing a Strata SDK. We wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't let us, I don't think. But, like, it's also just not something we have on the cards. Like, the projects working on Strata are games. Like, we do a lot of engine stuff, especially Portal 2 CE. You know, something like S-Cell, for instance, does... I don't know. I don't think he plays Momentum much at all. I think he's got some interest in like PDCE, but like he's mostly doing engine dev, which is awesome. I mean, SL does fantastic work. Like SL is the one that did the map size increase and stuff. But like, there's so many changes we have from SL that are like very fancy and like just massive quality of life things.
Yes,
he's one of those C++ is this kind of language where certain people can become just kind of gurus in it and have this really deep knowledge of stuff. Sometimes for better or for worse. Like sometimes it leads to kind of spaghetti stuff, but like a lot of the time it's incredibly valuable. And yeah, SL is one of those people that just really deep knowledge of stuff. But like that being said, we're still not doing that much engine stuff for the sake of it. At least we try not to.
I don't know if I can do this jump. I don't know where exactly I need to shoot.
Is this the first of this course, or?
Yeah, course C. But I
hate these fucking wall shots.
Yeah, I don't know where exactly I need to shoot the rocket, but anyway. Yeah.
You want to shoot behind you slightly on the first wall to get some speed, and then just like slightly in front of you for all the other ones to maintain your height.
I see. Yeah. But now I have like no. It's a weird fickle like speed thing, isn't it? Anyway, next question.
Squirrel asks, will there be a history of maps you've played outside of completions, like a recent activity list locally per user?
We could do that. I think we actually literally have it, unless it was last played, yeah.
Yeah.
Last played, and it's this timestamp of when you booted it up. From the map selector. Keep that in mind. If you're using the map command, you're bypassing a lot of stuff, including like you might be loading an old version of the map that's not supported. So like you won't have zones or something on it if you So like just definitely use the map selector as much as you can. I know we do support you loading maps through the map command if you have everything properly in place. But if you don't, when in doubt, use the map selector. It'll save like the last time you played. And things like that. But yeah, absolutely. And it's just last played, and then you would have, I guess, you would go by mode, but yeah, you'd be able to see that. Unfortunately, I have no maps.
Does it work in the beta tab?
Let's see. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if you've actually played any maps.
I have not, and so all the ones I haven't, I think, are up top. Anyway, yeah. All right. Thank you, Squirrel, for that question. Oh, classic. We got this 2 minutes into our stream, too.
When will the release date come? I think we've done this.
Yes. Yeah, we've done this.
There will be a trailer.
Well, will be a trailer. Well, it might not be a trailer. We might do a video.
Yeah.
Or like a kind of spoken changelog thing.
Yeah. To talk
spoken word poetry about what we're planning on doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like just kind of explaining exactly why it took so long and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, it's not going to be poetry, but it will be Iambic Pentameter.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, there will be a release date once the game code's ready and we're good there. So, just keep an eye out. It will not stealth drop. We are not stealth dropping 010.0. We will ping everybody. Just be in our Discord. I think we're gonna delete our X account if we haven't already. So just, I guess we can make Blue Sky. Yeah. I don't fucking care. Anyway, we'll put it everywhere it makes sense. You will know. You will know when the release is happening.
I'm gonna BRB 1 minute.
All right. Next question.
DerKenste? How you pronounce that?
Yeah.
If everybody has the same player model, how will it be possible to identify which mode another person on the same map is playing? What about submodes?
So this was broken in our previous streams, but you will also be able to see who exactly like a player model is when you're looking at them. So what we could do is that little nameplate that comes up, we could add like what mode they're playing on it. It's not a really bad thing to add like a little more information there. It'll also be in the lobby list. Like we could just say like, hey, they're playing Conk on this map. It's yeah, it wouldn't be a problem at all. Submodes, yeah, it's just a matter of like putting that in the data that you would network to other people, like what you're doing. And then when you spectate them, that's where it would probably get a little weird. So if you play a map that could use different submodes and you want to spec them and the tick rate's off or something like that, that might not be great, but we'll see. We'll actually see what happens because, well, actually, no, it will probably fuck shit up. But yeah, like we can easily add the information, hey, they're on a different submode. Worst case, if they're on a different tick rate submode, we just tell you that and like, hey, you gotta, boot up the game in this mode to be able to spec them fully. It'd be nice to not have to do that, but we'll have to see how the networking stuff works on a lower tick rate that the game mode desires and then emulating that. But realistically, the networking should be able to handle that because it's a fixed update rate that we do for online multiplayer. So assuming that the tick rate's not lower than that, which if you're playing at like 40 updates a second or something, holy shit. Get off the Raspberry Pi. Anyway, but yeah, we can definitely add information about that. So no worries there. And then not everyone's going to be the same player model. Right now, we want to focus cosmetics on the same player model and then customizing it. But we do want to eventually maybe look into other player models if we get community, because we did have the question about the workshop. It's not going to have maps. I'd love for it to be TF2 style where it's like people submit cosmetics and then people can vote on it, try them out or whatever. And then we can officially add them to our cosmetic store or something like that. Like that would be really cool. And then through that, we could get some really interesting player models like that. But cosmetics are so like down the line right now that it's not a focus or anything. We'll figure out player model stuff in the future. Just wanted to comment on that because we don't have to have the exact same player model, but the work that goes involved, that gets involved with animating and all of that, we kind of would want to push that more onto the community than on us. We want to just make sure that things work with different player models if we do have different ones. But for now, everyone will be the same player model that you can customize and just colors, trail, like whatever. Like we'll figure out what exactly you can customize and earn. But absolutely, you'll be able to distinguish yourself, and we'll have information about what mode you're playing. Like you'll be holding the rocket launcher if you're playing rocket jump and stuff like that. Like we'll have that detail in there at least. But when it comes to spectating, we'll have to see how it works and if it breaks or anything like that. But thank you for that question. We'll move on to the next one. Oh yeah.
This one is incredibly specific.
Yeah, very specific one. But...
yeah, Miss Blossom asks, is the bug regarding the infinite loop using path track teleport IO being worked on or fixed? So that's like one of those bugs we were talking about that like we absolutely want to fix, but it's just not high priority at the moment. We just want to get all the 0.10.0 stuff kind of sorted before working on minor game bugs like that.
Yeah.
But it will definitely be fixed at some point.
If there's a card for it, it will definitely be fixed at some point.
Is the issue on both branches? I don't know if it's here actually, but
yeah, I'm not.
I mean, if the issue's on both branches, then I guess it's quite a long-running thing, and it's not related to like 0.10.0 work. In which case, it's relatively low priority.
Wow, this is nuts. Didn't know the original was so high up. Maybe we should move our crosshair. I'm just kidding. It does eventually line up with it. It's just initial firing position. And that is correct. That's exactly how it is in TF2. Anyway, All right. Hopefully that answers that question. We'll move on to the next. I might change map because fuck this jump. Course C too hard. Just kidding. It's just this fucking wall jump.
I'm not triangles. I'm triple spike. Asks, how can I override with models that is not in mmod folder?
Ooh. Oh, it's on our docs.
Do
Well,
you actually have a
if
docs
it's
page for
in,
it?
I thought we do.
we do.
Maybe we do. I know that Vortex usually answers this question 6,000 times a month in
Yeah.
That's the
Discord.
thing.
But I don't know if we've actually got it written down somewhere.
We have how to override assets, but that's like our override scripts. If we don't, I mean, we could add like or flesh out that documentation, or feel free to do that and submit a BR. But yeah, you might have to move it into your custom folder. I mean, we very specifically mount games for their base content. Like we don't mount the custom folder inside or like a download folder inside of the other games. Mainly just because we don't want to, like if you have terabytes of custom models or something, we don't want the game load to take forever just parsing through all of that. We just want the core VPKs and like your maps folder basically. And that's just for the maps like list to be able to list it. But I mean, in the future, we might just stop mounting your other games maps directory. We'll see. Maybe make that a convar that you opt into or something. But when it comes to models that aren't in your mmod folder, I mean, I think you can direct inside of the script an absolute path to models and stuff. So you just inside of where it says like what the model name is or whatever, you just put like the full path to it. So.
Yeah, I think this
what
is
was the gist of the
in
history
reference
question?
more...
What? Sorry, the one that we had before of like, can you like map history? Is that what you mean, Tiny Onion? Like the map recently played history? We have it. That was the answer. So it's last played. And then we'll have another button for like ascending and descending eventually, but it's recent and oldest. And yeah, it you have to use the map selector to you have to use the map selector to like update that time, but yeah, we do have it. So oh, you might not need to actually. I don't know how we hook into it. That's something that we can update. But sorry, what were you gonna say, Mac?
Yeah, like this question I think is the people that want to replace like the momentum knife with CS:GO knives. So yeah, I think you need to just like open CS:GO's VPKs, find the model path, and then basically copy what we do in the override scripts, but with the model path for the new knife. But then at the same time, I think we might use a different view model system than CS:GO, so it might just not load. I don't know. It's complicated. The question has been asked a billion times in Discord.
Yeah.
If you can use the search bar in Discord, I'm sure you'll find an answer. But it's not super straightforward as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it's a little more involved with CSGO, and part of the cosmetics work that we want to do will look into maybe making it a little easier to select your already installed game, like cosmetics that you can have. Because keep in mind that we don't want an official like thing that you can wear or change to be networked or anything like that. We want it to be just kind of like a, hey, this is what you're familiar to are familiar with. Like we can allow you to have it locally and then just like default to momentum stuff when you network or record a replay. But yeah, all right. Moving on to the next question. Oh, that's it. Do we have any asked questions? Q&A Live seems to have three more questions.
We have a couple new ones in Q&A Live.
Let's go through those.
I guess because Miss Blossom just also posted again in here. This isn't really a question, so we don't want to have like a conversation in Q&A Live. But yeah, something a bug like this is not a high priority bug for us to fix. Like you should not be like waiting on your map, like not working on a map just to like because you're waiting on this. Like you're not. This probably doesn't happen in the next like 3 months.
Yeah.
So.
Entity work
Sorry,
is something
it is just yeah.
Kind of deprioritizing to O10X updates.
Yeah.
Holy shit, how much fucking speed do I need for this? What?
More.
Alright. Is that enough? Yeah, that was. Let's go. Alright, what are the 3 asked questions? Or 2, I guess, then. I saw 3 messages. Oh, what's up, Kalash? Yeah, so we answered this earlier, but yeah, we are opening up the entire playtest at O10.0, and we are aiming to get O10.0 out sometime later this year, in like a couple of months is kind of like our eyes, but we don't have a release date in mind until the game is fully ready for it. So yeah, a lot of that. I know it's really annoying, but the drops that we do right now is just so that we don't overwhelm our current backend, and you know we don't. We're working on basically a giant refresh of a lot of systems in the game. So with O10.0, like that's the first time we're fully ready for like everybody to be able to jump in and like break it and shit like that. So that's the reason why it's like kind of weird with drops. But O10.0 will be the first. Oh shit, I gotta surf around that. But O10.0 will be the first, release that will fully get everybody in. Level 6. Oh shit, I fucking hate this one. This one you have to be so precise. What? Where?
I get to go to bed soon. That's so cool.
Yeah. You get to go to sleep. Anyway,
okay. The other questions in Q&A live. We've got another one from Miss Blossom asking, when will rockets / weapons / stickies be added to replays? They already are in the O10.0 branch.
Yeah, we kind of get that almost for free.
Nick,
well, there's work that goes in, but like the system is like it stores like everything.
I actually had a funny bug earlier. I watched one of Colo's demos on, I think it was on Valley, and the weapon was like the Half-Life 2 crate debris, just like a plank of wood, and like he was firing smaller planks of wood out of the plank of wood as the view model, and I have no idea what would be causing that.
No,
but
that's what
I
Rio
restarted
talked
the game and tried again. Okay.
No, Rio talked about this in our
Goodness.
red meeting, or like our other meeting, or it was last week's, so 3 p.m.
Yeah.
one. That replays were storing like what I think model string it was, as opposed to like or something like that. So you could have like also footsteps be just the most annoying fucking sound. So we changed that, or he changed that, and so it should be good now. But oh, I had to do the baby bitch jump. What the fuck? How am I supposed to have enough speed for this?
I think you have to skip the bhop.
Okay. Oh, that's not gonna work. Wait, that might work. Okay, no. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of work, but it's gonna be awesome once it comes out. O10.0 is gonna be amazing, and just being able to play with friends alone is like that in and of itself is just gonna make O10.0 like really special. I feel like for a lot of people, just playing on maps that they're used to. How the fuck do you skip the bhop? What? Yeah. Damn it.
And our final question,
Yeah,
unless people have more questions in chat, comes from Living Room Set, $799.
Good name.
Is ranked XP handled similarly to other multiplayer ranked ladders where the lower tiers just have a point requirement and the last few are top X?
What?
Yeah, what? Sorry.
I blanked.
Is ranked XP handled similarly to other multiplayer ranked ladders where the lower tiers just have a point requirement and the last few are top X?
I see.
Like the overall groups? Or
so I think
like
we maybe discussed this.
rankings.
So we currently ranks is just numerical. You just have a specific numerical rank. We have an idea that we might end up doing for like trophies.
Yeah.
In the future, where we do have like boundaries and there's trophies, and like basically what every other game does. We were gonna have some crazy fucked up. Oh, that was where the Weasleys came from.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Weasley trophies.
We had a Google Doc of names for potential trophies, and probably my favorite
Trophy
thing
material,
Matt has ever done, favorite of many things, was to just add all the Weasleys from Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
there was just a lot of people being like, "Oh, we can have gold, platinum,
Yeah,
diamond," and then
and yours was like Ginny,
Ginny.
Ron,
Ron.
Fred. Why do I know this? Fuck those books. Those books
There
are
wasn't enough
fucking
Weasleys, though, was there? We had to add the
awful.
car as the top
The
rank.
car was the top rank. We don't have a date for O10 Piku.
Yeah, like we
We'll have a
don't
date in a bit.
know. The way that our
We don't know.
project works is that it's everybody in their free time working entirely for free on the game. Like the donations don't go towards paying anyone's salary. There's no expectations around when things are done for like programmers or anything. So unfortunately, that means that the only time we know an actual date is when we're so close to it, like a week out or so.
This map is genuinely good.
It's very
I know
fun.
it isn't, but I like it.
It's very fun.
I'm being silly. For some reason I just like blanked and just could not focus on the stream, so I'm doing a pull request. Someone asked for a really good feature in Lumper, and I was like, oh yeah, I can do that like instantly.
Yeah. What was the feature?
It was like target names in the entity editor list.
Oh,
so if an entity has a target name, show it, because that's really helpful.
Yeah.
And it's something Vide has. And it's like, well, it shouldn't be that hard to do in like any code base, but like a lot of I do like it when stuff is easy in Lumper.
Yeah.
God, I've got the fucking stupid Firecracker Boys song stuck in my head still.
But yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't have the gym question today, so got any updates, Gok? Flipping tires today.
My
I heard.
squat PB went up to 145. I think.
What does that mean?
45 plates.
What that mean?
No, 135. 135. So it's 45 plates, like 45 pound plates on each end, and then the bar itself is 45.
What's that in regular units?
Oh, I don't know. 135 pounds though. So.
Fucking yanks.
That's 60, just over 61 kilos. Okay.
So working up towards body weight. My goal body weight's 180. So I mean, if I can do that, then yeah, gonna look like Sam Solik. Who's Sam Solik? I have no idea.
Isn't that the guy from Star Trek?
Maybe.
Does that sound like anyone in Star Trek? I've not seen it. But
Sulu.
Oh,
part of the reason why this stream was late is I was hitting traffic on my way back from the gym session that I do in the morning.
Crashing.
Yeah, crashing into other people, but no. He's a bodybuilder. Gotcha. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go that far. I am like, it's funny because like the gym that I go to, they like their whole bread and butter is like training people to be California strongmen. So they know what the fuck they're doing. And like they could make me a strongman bodybuilder type, but that's not my goal. My goal is just to hit 180 lean and then maybe start building muscle back up to 200 and just be 200 with muscle. But like I like have been 230 pounds for a long time. And then started the workout like journey around like September last year. And I'm down to 205. So I've lost 20 pounds so far over like 4 or 5 months. And it feels amazing, but like, I'm just like, one of my main exercises is weight training. And they are training me. I feel stronger every day. And I'm like, I'm really enjoying my journey, through health, and especially as a gamer boy that sits at a desk for his job. It is very much a recommended thing to do if anyone else is in a similar position. At least just going on a walk every day, do that bare minimum. But it's been really nice, and progress has been nice. But again, I'm not going for any crazy PBs yet. I'm noting down when I do. I guess squats are my main thing that I actually enjoy doing. I think bench wise, I can only do 35 pounds on each end, and then the bar is 45, so 115 for benching. But like, I'm not trying to like bench your car or whatever. Like, I don't need to go crazy. But it's been really nice, and losing weight, defining more muscle, it just feels great to have that when I have not for a long time. So I think like the only time, what was that?
Where the fuck does Loxer live where it's $20 a week for a gym membership?
Holy
Is that
fuck.
normal?
No. What? Like maybe $12 a month for like LA Fitness or whatever here, but holy shit, no. Yeah, that was absolutely a ripoff. Unless, were you paying for like classes? Because for us, it's a 3 to 4 month thing for $500, but it's personal training. Like they are literally giving you direct feedback on your form, and it also helps it keep going. So like they come out to
that's a crazy amount of money just for lifting heaps.
Yeah, right.
You would be doing
heaps and tons. TONN.
People have been asking me if I've been still lifting heaps.
Oh, yeah, I think
and you should know, heaps are my life. I can't do the accent. I'm sorry.
Is it Australian? Like I forget.
Yeah, it's Brian Jordan Alvarez, who's American, doing a genuinely very good Australian accent. Like,
he's got
one
that
of his characters is like that
blood.
gym guy.
Okay, so close. Oh, it's in. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. That AUD. Okay, 15, but still 15 USD a week. Couldn't recommend. Now I weigh 70. Have some tone. Hell yeah, dude. Nice, easy gains. Yeah, it's been really nice, and yeah, I mean, it helps living in California where it's like only cloudy twice a week at most, and then it usually goes away really quickly as well. And it's been like 70 degrees for a while. Freedom units, don't know what that is in Celsius, but yeah, like it's been really nice out, and you can just go on walks if you want to. But for me, I'm just exhausted from the gym pretty much every day. Oh, let's go, easy. Level 10. Oh, fuck. I think this is where I got last time. Oh.
This one's not so bad.
That's not where you go. All right. Where do I go? What? Do I turn
under
around?
The ramp.
Oh.
Yeah, turn 180 and go under it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Oh, you can stand there. Something we gotta fix. Protein powder. That's the main expense, I'd say, is like protein powder. Really good protein powder for you, and not like the shitty Walmart brand one. It's like, was it like cold pressed whey isolate or something? It's like $64 for a thing of it, but it's worth it because it lasts a while. It lasts usually like a month for me. I make protein like kale and spinach smoothies every morning for my breakfast, and they're great. And it's a good way to do breakfast as somebody who doesn't like eating before like 10 or 11 a.m. So. A bag? Oh god, I've seen people get the bags too. It's always funny. It looks like cocaine. Like they're fucking drug dealing when they whip it out.
Yeah, like thousands of dollars of cocaine.
Yeah, just just whipping
like
it out.
Genuinely, like a staggering
amount
of
it is
money
Irvine. It is.
Yeah, that'll be pretty. Yeah.
Rich asshole city here.
Cocaine's an asshole drug. Like,
yeah.
There's no ethical source of cocaine in the world.
I guess.
No, there isn't. Like the co-trader's just shit for.
Oh wait, you played this map earlier. My bad. Well, people are just watching worse gameplay of this.
This stage is 1,000 times harder than any of the other stages before it.
I don't know why.
It's cruel.
Yeah. I like the stage now. I'm such a sucker of these like shitty old maps. This map's pretty good. But yeah, I'm really happy with like porting stuff, like doing some of the surf fruit stuff earlier. Like it's feeling a lot more like intuitive, and like you actually have like control over what you're doing, which I really like. Like until we had the game sync stuff, like Lumper just felt like you were kind of feeding around in the dark quite a lot, trying to figure out what's what.
Or you would have it open and like hammer open and whatever.
Yeah, and it's just at that point it's just hammer. But lumper getting to the point where it's got a lot of advantages over hammer, right? But like so having the downsides be lessened is nice.
Just gotta be smooth. Be the way. Oh, why is that wall so tall? Fuck that.
Also, like, in terms of making desktop UI, this has been, like, the first kind of desktop program I've really made. And there's definitely some stuff about Lumber that's a bit jank. But it's pretty fucking good.
Oh my God,
it's nice to work on.
Sorry.
Like, this is, like proper, like, nice cross-platform UI stuff. It's all fancy. Yeah. I can do all sorts of rendering stuff with it. And it's just, I've liked Avalonia a lot. How many different UI systems do we have in Momentum now?
Well, we still also have VGUI. We just don't
use
it.
I was going to say, like, we don't really use it, but we're still, like, kind of there.
Still there, and it's
but MGUI is just, like,
it's
better
so much better.
MGUI is ridiculously nice to use and
if we had
easy to learn.
Refactor energy, I'd love to rip out VGUI in favor of it, because it's just basically what's
a bit of a shame is, like, well, maybe some stuff for, like, HUD elements. Would you want to do that in MGUI? Like, does it make sense to do...
Oh, like CL
MGUI, I think
yeah.
Something like that. I guess you could do in MGUI, right? And just have it always display. I don't really know much about how, like, yeah, because some of that we moved to Pano, which was a bit silly.
Yeah, and that's
like, even console you could maybe do in MGUI. Like, I guess you probably wouldn't want to, because it's gonna... Yeah, because it's gonna do so many... Well, I don't know, like, something that's doing... I don't know. Selectable text blocks are just hard.
Yeah, they are.
like Avalonia is not very good. But...
Can I do this stage? That is the question. I mean, we are out of questions, and we are hitting our 3-hour limit right here.
We won't have console users. We don't even support controller. We won't have controller-based UI.
This, how do you do a controller here other than a cursor?
You can, but it's like gimmicky and not very fun. But like this UI is just not made.
How do you do this gameplay with a controller?
Yeah.
It's just not possible. I applaud the people that are doing the weird stuff. I'm sure you could do like RJ parkour. Once we add that, it'll be another.
Yeah, parkour is like
You can. I mean, obviously, you can play Titanfall 2 on controller. In fact, there's people that speedrun it on Xbox because it apparently has better timing or some shit. But yeah.
Been watching loads of like Elden Ring stuff lately in FromSoft games. It's funny how like using mouse and keyboard is seen as like weird. Some people do it, but it's...
Oh, yeah. Oh, third-person games. I see the argument. Third-person games I love, like Monster Hunter.
But sometimes they're doing, like, kind of pixel setups and shit. And they're doing it with...
Yeah.
Well, they're, like, trying to do these, like, quite specific alignment for certain skips. And it's like, why would you...
Oh, I need to flick more for that. Why is it so... I hate the second wall. I hate it. It sucks. Remove it, please, with Lumper.
I can't remove walls.
I know, yeah. Turn it into an illusionary or whatever. Parkour with a controller. It's the most controller-friendly one because you aren't doing any crazy specific mouse movements. Oh my God, I can't do it. I can't do the second wall. The second wall just eats so much of my speed.
Oh yeah, people play FromSoft games on anything. Yeah. Like the... Who's doing the Guitar Hero controller?
Oh, did you see the trumpet run?
Or...
Did you see? Okay, anyone
was it? Yeah, what's his
GDQ, Mr. Dude, or whatever. Just holy shit.
Prof Dupe MD or something.
Yeah, Professor Dupe.
Yeah.
Watch was it Elden Ring boss rush trumpet. He plays the game using a fucking trumpet
really
or sax. Is it? I forget. No, it's trumpet because of.
It is. Yeah, it is like a little trumpety thing. Yeah.
It is so. No, that's
great. I feel so because I've been watching Bingo Brawlers a lot, which is the Elden Ring Bingo League.
What? Oh, okay, like speedrun. Okay. I was like, are they playing bingo and Elden Ring? Like elderly? Okay.
You have like a board of like 25 things you have to do.
It's like beat Market or something, you know?
Yeah, and then you can either go for bingos and it's like lockout. So if you take a square, the other person can't take the square.
Can't.
It is genuinely so entertaining, and it's like I have like momentum.
Yeah, different modes and stuff. If you're more comfortable in a different mode, you can lock out.
I would love to see those kind of tournaments, like really.
That's what I'm saying.
At, like, people
I would
doing
love to
different
officially
modes and
support
stuff,
that. Yeah.
Or like beat like a tier 1 of every mode as fast as you can, something like that. Because I do. 10x is horribly difficult.
What the fuck?
I mean, there's so many challenge runs and stuff, and like randomizer stuff, and duped enemies and shit. It's ridiculous what people have done with that game. But I do think like the bingo stuff is like just the best format by far, though, because it's like way more interesting than watching speedruns of. Like, I don't think I've ever actually watched a whole Elden Ring speedrun. I just don't care.
I guess we can call the stream there. I'm not gonna beat this stage. I know my limits. This tier 1's too hard.
Haven't you beaten this before?
Not this stage. I think I got here last time as well. I don't know. It's all a blur. Right. It's just the stage. I can't get over that second wall. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I feel like I'm smooth, but it's like, yeah, I come down and then up to barely go over the first wall, then down again and up again to get over the second. But then, yeah, I'm not even making it. I don't know. Like, what? Am I not supposed to go that far down? Like, I know you're supposed to gain as much speed as you can on the first ramp, but you don't want to go too far down because you want to be able to, like, barely, like, graze over this wall. Anyway, I'm level 0 because I'm an admin. Just kidding. It's our back end and, yeah, cache and stuff. But gotta be more smooth. I know. I'll work on it. Anyway, that ends our podcast. Unless there's any last minute, like, questions or discussion.
No, there's everything.
But yeah, yeah. Anyway, we will definitely let you guys know when there is a release date. I understand the hype. I understand everything about it. We are not withholding shit from you because it makes us feel good. It is just genuinely.
No, I am. I know I am.
Tom might be, but the rest of us, no. It does not make us feel good to see people getting angry about it, because that's not right the desired outcome. We want people in the game. So when we get to the point that we have a release date, it will immediately be announced, and that will probably take a couple months just for game code to get stable, and then we'll have a rough idea of how long the video recording and all of that's going to take as well by then. So we'll have a release date. It'll be this year, because holy shit, we'll be burnt out to hell and back if we don't. But yeah, sorry again that we don't have a set date. It's just the nature of this project and how everyone works on it, and we'll get to a point where we are really comfortable giving you guys a date. And we'll hit it, and we'll hit it. Like, you'll see in this Q&A, I mean, we got a ton of awesome stuff that Tom showed off today. Definitely, right? Like, we are making excellent progress. A lot of it's internal, but it's coming.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
One thing just to add there, sorry, is we may do a ping being like, hey, we actually need people testing out of 10. Can you get on the O10O pre-branch and help port maps? Yeah. I'm a little worried if we do that, people are going to be like, oh, I thought it was the release because I got pinged, and it isn't, so I'm going to moan.
Right.
But it probably doesn't matter. So,
because that will likely be about a month out from, like, the actual release date. We'll probably start getting people on the branch and porting maps, because, again, we want O10O to drop with content. So that's the other thing, too. Exactly. If we only have 4 maps that the team's ported, like, everyone's going to be like, what the fuck? So definitely keep an eye out for that ping. We'll be way, way more active around that time, too. Like, it's right now just kind of hush-hush. We're getting everything done and in place, and then we'll be loud and proud about our game when we get there.
Incredibly proud.
And just keep in mind, it does not pleasure us, except for Tom, it does not pleasure us to hold the game back or prevent people from getting in. We are just getting to the point where we're comfortable with that. Okay, that's all that is. There's no personal strife. There's no, if Valve keeps fucking up all the servers, all the games and shit, that's not on us. We're sorry that they fucked up CS:GO and CS2. Sorry about that. But like we're getting O10 ready.
Get over it.
We'll get it out, and you guys will be able to
Get a
play
grip.
it, and we'll get a grip. But no, yeah, it'll be excellent. I promise. And this game is coming out. It's not a bait and switch. We're not collecting money and running. We're working on this because we love the idea of it, and it's coming out.
It's a scam.
It's a giant scam.
$10K worth of open collective donations, or whatever it is. It's just,
if you want a more effective scam, run crypto. Like if you see crypto starting to come into the game, that's how you know it's a scam. Anyway, but yeah. So thank you so much for remaining patient. Please stop fucking complaining about the release date. It's just annoying. We're getting there.
I don't think people are complaining all that much. I think it's mostly
No, it's not. Yeah,
some weird people like today.
Yeah, it was. More
I think someone
today.
got the impression that we were going to announce something today.
Yeah, I don't know who's giving you impressions on release dates or something. The Q&As are just meant to show off progress, and it will never be used to announce something. That will be done in the announcements channel. So just. Please, like, stay patient, and thank you for remaining patient. It will be amazing when it drops. I promise. If it isn't, sorry, go surf on CS. Sorry, go surf on CS.
Yeah, I'm done with this game until they. Yeah.
Anyway, do we have anyone to raid? Anyone else streaming? Yes, Wild Rumpus. Let's raid Wild Rumpus.
Who?
Oh, yeah, Tempest Down cool. Cope stream. I like that. I've been loving seeing that. So, of course, our standard raid procedure is just your favorite smiley, or smiley, or heart, or anything wholesome, because people sometimes need that more than you realize. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Catch you all in the next Q&A stream. Tom will likely stream in a couple minutes. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, you're going to bed. Go to bed. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Should be the end of March, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, bye-bye.
That is.